Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
I'm Dave Bracegood. I'll give you the Notts team in a moment, but it would be remiss of me, first of all, not to say a very good afternoon for the second time this season here at Trent Bridge, to say a very good afternoon to the man who's seen more Surrey games than any other living person, unless their name is Stuart, I think. Mark Church, welcome back to Trent Bridge.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Bracegirdle. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I don't know why everybody's comparing the two games today. I think the biggest game is here this afternoon at Trent Bridge. I think you can forget what's happening over the ocean in America. This is the big one this afternoon, and a place at finals day up for grabs. Of course, the last time, we were just reminding each other, the last time these two met was in the final in 2020 when Peter Trigo played his only game for Notts, and Notts beating Surrey in the final. That was the COVID final where it rained the whole of Saturday and we played on the Sunday. We got no such worries today. It is a glorious day here at Trent Bridge, and very much looking forward to this one, Mr. Bracegirdle.
Yep, socially distanced final, of course, wasn't it, in 2020, and I'm never allowed to forget it, because the Sunday, the reserve day, which was used for the final between Notts and Surrey, my good lady's birthday, so I was in the doghouse when I said, no, I'm staying in Birmingham for the cricket, and it still continued to rain. I think, if memory serves, we had a shortened final, and Notts getting the better of that one. Now, to tell you the news from the middle, Joe Clark, the Notts skipper, has won the toss, and Notts have pretty much throughout, whenever they've had the choice, have chosen to chase. A little bit different here. They're playing on a used wicket. When I give you the sides, it will confirm that there's an extra spinner in the Notts side, and Notts have opted to take the other route, put runs on the board and try and defend it. There's two changes from the side that lost to Yorkshire on Sunday, with Mohammed Amir returning for Dylan Pennington and Joe Pocklington coming in for Freddie McCann. And Mark, I think Surrey also make a change.
Yeah, the one change that Surrey have made, and they've been unchanged for the last three games, is they bring in Ollie Sykes. His first game, he's been injured. They bring in Ollie Sykes for Jordan Clark. Other than that, Surrey are as they were for the defeat against Essex, where if they'd won that, they would have got a home draw. It's going to be Reece Topley to get us started. Coming in left arm over the wicket to Joe Clark, and Clark's up on his toes, punching the first ball up the ground. The fielding's done by Chris Jordan, and there is no run. Interesting that Notts won the toss and batted first, and it looks, well, it is a used wicket. I think it'll spin. The interesting thing is, I always think Surrey are better chasing. I think they're one of those sides that likes having a number to go after, whatever that number is. As Topley, left arm over the wicket he comes, forward goes Clark, plays it into the offside. Dan Lawrence comes up to do the fielding, and there is no run.
So they're not side in full then with those two changes. Joe Clark, George Munsey out there opening, Jack Haynes, Tom Moores, George Linder, Benny Howell. Joe Pocklington will pop into the lower middle order somewhere. Liam Patterson-White, who signed a new contract extension today, keeping him at the club until at least the end of 2029, and then the three quicks, Ollie Stone, Mohammed Amir and Binora Fernando.
As in over the wicket comes Topley, full of length, driving his Clark. Straight up the ground again to Chris Jordan at mid-off, who does the fielding, and again there's no run. So three spinners in that side for Nottinghamshire. For Surrey, it's Jason Roy, Laurie Evans, Josh Philippi, Dan Lawrence, who also bowls his off-spin, Ollie Pope will keep, Ollie Sykes, Tom Curran, Tom Laws, Sean Abbott, Chris Jordan, Reece Topley. So, two spinners for Surrey, because Ollie Sykes can bowl off-spin. If it turns, interesting. As over the wicket goes Topley once again, and Clark flashes outside the off stump, outside edge. Pope takes the catch. Joe Clark's not happy with the decision. He's got to be careful here. He stood staring down the pitch. He's actually having a word with the umpire here, Joe Clark. He's been given out caught behind. He's been told to get on his bike, I think, and Joe Clark has to go without scoring. He's not happy with the decision. You can see that. Just got to be a little careful as he makes his way off. But Surrey have a wicket with the fourth ball. It's a big one. It's the captain, Joe Clark, and The Outlaws are 0 for 1.
Yeah, he's had a pretty disappointing tournament throughout, Joe Clark, and that will just add to it, and also add to his feeling that just generally things aren't going for him as a batter at the moment. He's got to focus, of course, remembering he's the skipper of the side. Very, very close, I think, there to getting himself into trouble. Steve O'Shaughnessy and Paul Pollard are our umpires, and it's just a no-no. However frustrated you are, even if you're 6 inches away from the ball, you can't just stand there and say, well, I didn't hit it, because that's what he seemed to be doing. But Rhys Topley, I think that's his 20th wicket of the competition this year. He's having a really, really prolific spell, and that early all-important wicket so key, I think, to Surrey's hopes, because Clark, if he sticks around for 8 or 10 overs, can do a lot of damage.
I'm just wondering whether Clark thought the inside edge of his bat brushed his trousers. That's the only thing I can think. As Topley into Jack Haynes, left arm over the wicket, and Haynes is forward. This is a cracking first over from Rhys Topley. Really good, making batters play every single delivery so far. Nothing to go after. And that one, Haynes was forward and plays it quietly into the offside, and Dan Lawrence is up to do the fielding. Outlaws in all green. Surrey, of course, in the duck egg blue shirts with the dark sleeves and dark trousers. 2 outside the fielding circle, a deep backward square and a deep cover point as Topley. Final ball of the first over, and it will be the first run, will it? No, Haynes looked to drop that down towards short third. It's a wicket maiden from Rhys Topley. You don't get too many of those with the first over of a T20. And the Outlaws, having won the toss, batted first on 0 for 1. Yeah,
absolute gold dust as far as the fielding side are concerned. If one of their bowlers can deliver a wicket maiden there, that's a terrific start. So Notts already very much up against it. George Munsey will be on strike for the second over. 477 runs so far in this season's competition. He's a dozen behind Nyron Donald of Derbyshire, who likes to get the innings off to a punchy start. Derbyshire haven't made it through to the quarters, nor of Warwickshire, because Bo Webster, the Australian, he's the leading run scorer in the competition at the moment. He's 100 runs, 101 in fact, ahead of Munsey, who's in third. It's going to be Sean Abbott, the Australian, from the pavilion end, the Stuart Broad end, to bowl to the left-handed Munsey. Still a slip in there, and the first ball is deflected, maybe pad. We'll just get a look at umpire Pollard. It's certainly the first run. Now there's a little bit of bat involved, so a ripple of applause. Not the biggest of crowds in, and I think we know why. We can have a few guesses. I mean, it's still in the working day, a 4:30 start here, but also the football. Maybe we'll get 1 or 2 more come in once they come out of the offices and everywhere else in the city after 5 o'clock, 5:30. They might come in for the last couple of hours. I think there's an opportunity to watch the football in the ground later on as well. So we're hoping a few swell the numbers, but there's probably between 2,000 and 3,000 in the ground, I'd guess. Abbott now to Jack Haynes, the right-hander, who punches this into the covers, and there's no run.
Yeah, the 2 umpires just had a chat at the end of that first over, and I think that probably would have been about dear Joe Clark and his reaction to being given out. Of course, in Championship cricket, if it's intimidatory, the other side get 5 runs, don't they?
Yeah.
So I suppose the Outlaws could have been -5 for 1.
Not seen that before, have we?
No.
Here comes Sean Abbott again. Haynes will get this into the offside, maybe even through the offside for 4. It will out towards the Bridgeford Road side of the ground, and away for 4 runs. But Ollie Sykes out there. It's one of the number 50s.
Yes, indeed. Gorgeous shot from Haynes. It looks a pitch you're going to go full of length. There doesn't look to be a great deal of pace in it already, so Abbott going full of length. Beautiful shot through the covers from Haynes.
This strip has been well used over the last few days. Abbott in again to Haynes, drives to deepish mid on to Chris Jordan, and they scamper a single. 6 for 1. Last week the England-India T20 match was played on this strip. This is the strip that Vibab Surrey she played on. And then on Friday there were 2 matches. The Blaze played their match, and so too did the Outlaws. So that's what, 40, 80, 120 overs at least it's been used for over the last 6 days. Outlaws 6 for 1. Munsey back on strike. Big Scottish international pulls this to square leg, and a slight misfield by Topley, and they'll take a single. Slightly wayward throw as well from Rees, but no damage done. The single was always going to be gathered up. 7 for 1.
I got here quite early this morning, and I went and sat by the River Trent and watched the world go by, and sat with some ducks. They were enormous. They're the biggest ducks I've ever seen. I don't know what they're feeding the ducks in Nottingham. They were enormous, great things.
Haynes has 5. He's on strike. And nicely cut to backward point. Sykes is out there. I think there'll only be a single. No, Haynes is going to push hard. He is quick between the wickets. Comes back for a couple. Not very much the losers in that first over. A wicket maiden, they were 0 for 1, but they've taken 9 from that over. Jack Haynes hurrying and scurrying his way to 7. George Munsey is on 2, 9 for 1 after 2 overs in the match between the Notts side that won the North Group. They won 8 matches in a row, but were then well beaten at Yorkshire on Sunday, and Surrey, who likewise come into this game off the back of a defeat. I listened to you on the way back from Leeds, because yours was a later game. I think Surrey won 7, lost 5.
Yep, and if they'd won that game against Essex, they would have actually won the group. As here is Topley coming left arm over the wicket from the Radcliffe Road end. First time he's bowled at the left-handed Munsey, who's punching that to backward point, and there's no run. But the funny thing is with Surrey, of course, they were at home for the quarter-final last year, where they got Boparred by Ravi, who got 100 in 11 overs or something ridiculous. So actually their record in knockout games at home is not great. So obviously they would have loved to have been at home, but I don't think they minded coming away too much, actually. As Topley's into Munsey, and Munsey's driving. Good shot. Lovely placement. Beat the extra cover and the cover point, and he's just leant on that as Munsey, and that has whistled off to the boundary rope for 4. Very nice bit of cricket, that, and it's the first runs of Rees Topley as well. But that's a lovely shot. We've had 2 lovely shots so far, but both off the front foot, and I think we'll see that tonight. I don't think there's a huge amount of pace in this wicket, so up to the bat is going to be key. As Topley is in, goes short down the leg side. Nothing on this. This will be a wide, signalled by umpire O'Shaughnessy.
That's a no-no in this format, isn't it? Any extra balls. We've just seen Binura Fernando come into the Notts side, the giant Sri Lankan, and he had a tough time of it at Headingley on Sunday. He overstepped twice, giving Yorkshire 2 free hits, and then another couple disappeared down the leg side. He won't be able to do that today.
Topley's in, full of length, and forward goes Munsey. Just came back at him a touch, takes the bottom hand off the bat, rolls back up the pitch, and Topley does the fielding off his own bowling. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him bowl.
It's a very tall young man.
Yeah,
nicknamed Rambo. He has a headband.
Ah, clever. I tell you what, cricketers and their nicknames, Dave Bracegirdle, they are sharp. They really are. I suppose he could have been McEnroe as well, couldn't he? In over the wicket once more comes Topley, cut by Munsey, and he's hit the gap again. This will be 4 more. It's not the longest boundary for the left-hander through the offside, so as long as he hits a gap there, he's going to pick up a boundary. It's good batting again, just a bit too short, threw his hands through it and hit the gap. That was the key thing.
One of the big surprises, and this isn't a pop act at Surrey for all their fans, you've only won it once, but you won the very first one on this ground.
Here at 2003. As forward goes Munsey, plays this one down to backward point. Ollie Sykes gets round to do the fielding. Yes, indeed. And what a day it was. Beat Gloucestershire in the final. Jimmy Orman took 4 for nothing.
4 for 11, got it.
11. Good knowledge. Did you know the thing I always remember? Ian Ward walked out wearing the first ever helmet cam but it was basically one of those massive helmets that you used, one of those massive cameras that cameramen put on their shoulders, gaffer taped to his crash helmet. As forward goes Muncie, and he'll pick up a single. And one more to the total. Nicely played by Muncie. But yes, that's the only time Surrey have ever won the T20.
You can see on my notes here, which occupy about 7 words, that the last 2 of them
Yes.
was that was the day, wasn't it?
It was, and I'll tell you something about that. You've just pointed to the name of the rock group that were playing, called Atomic Kitten. Now, the hilarious thing about that was, I think we commentated from the other end. I don't know why, but I think we did. But anyway, they performed in the interval between the second semi and the final, and everyone had gone to get their tea. And there was none of the crowd were watching them, but 2 Surrey players, and I'm not going to name her, right at the front. They were mesmerised.
Here's a man vastly experienced in this form of the game, Chris Jordan, to bowl the 4th over from the far end. Muncie doesn't time this properly, up to mid-off, and there's no run. 19 for 1 not. Start of the 4th over. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Nottingham, Dino's afternoon show continues on digital radio and on BBC Sounds here. You're listening to Dave Bracegirdle and Mark Church, bringing you the quarter-final match in this season's T20 Blast from Trent Bridge. It's a game that started at 4:30. Notts won the toss and the batting. I think everybody here, both players and spectators alike, wanted to be done and dusted for about 7:30 to watch a bit of television later on. Maybe you are as well, as this is pushed again up to mid-off by George Muncie, and there's no run. You'll be on the motorway in the car having a listen.
I'll be listening.
Scarf out the window.
Yes, I might do. I'm wearing my lucky underpants today, so they're being worn for the entire afternoon and evening.
You did make a good point, though. The traffic is likely to be light.
I don't think there'll be too many people on the road tonight.
A little beep beep if there's a goal as you pass somebody.
Yes.
We're in the 4th over. Trent Bridge far from full. Come on down if you're in the city and contemplating, as Jordan bowls a 3rd consecutive dot at the start of this one. Short of a length. Chris Jordan's got a great ability to vary his pace, and that one just spat off a length, and George Muncie, I think, was just a little startled, might have rattled him on the glove.
Yeah, it's good bowling from Chris Jordan. He's got better as the competition's gone on, because of course he was coming back from an ankle injury. It's the first couple of games, but he's just got better and better and better.
Surrey aside, packed full of internationals, but also missing a huge amount as well. Sam Curran, Gus Atkinson, Will Jacks. Not here, away with England. This is pushed to point, and there's no run. We've already had 1 maiden, and now we're 4 dots into the start of this over.
Yeah, and again, it's full of length from Chris Jordan. As I say, there's no great pace to this wicket, and I think this could be hard work for the batters today. I can see why they batted first here in Nottinghamshire, because it's not going to get any quicker as the afternoon goes on.
Pack the side with spinners, bringing Joe Pocklington in for just his 5th T20 game. He played 3 at the start of the campaign when Patterson White was away with England 8, or England Lions. And there's a catch! Muncie's gone hard at Chris Jordan, and it's come off the outside edge and safely pouched by Tom Curran up inside the ring at short 3rd. Just flew straight in at a lovely height for Curran, and Notts have lost their 2nd wicket in the 4th over. George Muncie caught by Tom Curran from the bowling of Chris Jordan for 11, faced 13 balls at 2 fours. Notts 19 for 2, and both openers already back in the hutch.
That's incredible, really, because that was almost a slip catch to Tom Curran. Stood at short 3rd, perfectly positioned for that big outside edge on the drive, but it was like a slip catch that to Tom Curran. So Muncie gone for 11. Good start list for Surrey. Got rid of 2 very dangerous players. 19 for 2, but it's good bowling from Chris Jordan, and much like Reece Topley, yet to concede a run and then picks up a wicket. This
is a little surprising. It makes a bit of sense in the selection of Joe Pocklington, bringing the extra spinner in on a surface that they're pretty sure is going to turn a little bit, but they've also bumped Joe up to Freddie McCann's batting position at number 4, so whether he's going to essentially just go out there as a little bit of a pinch hitter. We know he can give it a bit of crash bang wallop with the seconds, but I think if you're looking at the batting order, normally he'd have come in behind Morsland and Howell and maybe even Patterson White. Chris Jordan to bowl, final ball of the over. Pocklington defends, and incredibly we are through 4 overs. 2 of them have been wicket maidens. Not 19 for 2. Good stuff from Chris Jordan. Begins with a really miserly over and picks up the wicket of George Munsey to boot. 19 for 2 knots after 4 overs.
Yeah, and it's good stuff from Surrey. And Tom Curran on the Radcliffe Road end will bowl the 5th over. It may be exactly what you've just said there, Mr. Bracegirdle, that Pocklington should be told, get out there and play some shots, even if it's a quick 20-30. But I don't think it's going to be straightforward on this. I think anything up over 150 will be a tough chase. And you, as we've said, 3 spinners in the Outlaws side, so you're expecting it to turn as Tom Curran comes right arm over the wicket, and this is clipped by Haynes nicely into the leg side, and Jason Roy dives to his right to do the fielding. Now, has he hurt his shoulder there, Jason Roy? Jason always tends to take a while to get back to his feet, and you always know that if he's picked up a little knock, but yeah, here he really isn't getting back to his feet. Dive full length at mid-on to his right, and that could be shoulder. This would be a blow for Surrey. So out comes Paul Steele, the Surrey physiotherapist, who was of course busy here in the championship game with Gus Atkinson.
That's right.
But yeah, Jason Roy is on one knee at the moment. I think it must be shoulder. He dived to his right, and he did brilliantly to get something on it.
It saved a couple of runs, hasn't it?
He did, but you could see when he landed, but he felt that as Jason Roy. I think he'll be all right, actually, because he's back on his feet now, chatting away to Paul Steele. I think he'll be okay, but he definitely hurts himself there. Probably got a painkiller down him now.
Yeah, you're quite right. That county championship match a couple of months or so ago now, Gus Atkinson, poor old Gus, was clonked twice on the helmet by Josh Tong bouncers, and he sort of said he was okay the first time, and he was hit again. I think the second one was even harder, and he asked again, I think, to go on, and the Surrey physio was absolutely brilliant, because he told both umpires to keep an eye on him, and it was only a moment or two before they called again for the physio, and Atkinson had to go off.
Jason Roy's okay as Tom Curran is in, full of length. Beautiful placement from Haynes, just a bit too straight. Roll of the wrist from Haynes. It won't get to the boundary rope, but they should get 3. It's a lovely bit of batting from Haynes, and he picks up 3, so he's looking in prime nick here already. Haynes moves on to 12. Outlaws in the 5th over, 24 for 2. I think it was more his side, actually, Jason Roy, but he's moving all right now.
Yeah,
because he's been on, well, last couple of games. Oh dear, 100 against Sussex, 50 not out against Kent, and the 100 was unbeaten as well. He's still having a bit of a stretch up here at mid-off.
It was a heavy landing.
Yeah, it was. He did very well to get across to it as Tom Curran to Pocklington. Pocklington drives, doesn't really time this. Potter's out towards extra cover, and Laurie Evans in his red boots does the fielding, moving away to his right-hand side.
The Birmingham Beckham.
Yes, indeed.
Laurie Evans won the Blast as a Warwickshire player, a Bears player, back in the day. It was that year that Flintoff, having retired, came back and
that.
Played on finals day. Lost to Warwickshire.
There's Curran, arms pumping. Over the wicket he comes. Pocklington's forward, will get off the mark here. It's got to be quick. And Jason Roy doesn't pick up cleanly as he pushes that one up towards mid-off. Jason Roy annoyed with that. And a bit of a kick at the turf there from Jason Roy.
We've mentioned the 2020 final. There was also a meeting in 2006 here on finals day. It was the second time that finals day was held at Trent Bridge. Surrey won in 2003 here. Notts weren't involved on finals day, but Notts won the match in 2006. Ryan Sidebottom was man of the match. 4 overs, none for 7. You don't get those figures these days, do you?
No, as Haynes waits for Tom Curran. It's well bowled, good length, and Haynes can only push that one out towards Dan Lawrence at short extra cover, and there's no run. Umpire O'Shaughnessy just checking where Tom Curran is following through.
Don't think in any of the 12 group matches Notts have been involved in there's been a single maiden bowled by anybody, either by Notts or by the opposition. But 2 inside the first 4 overs here.
Tom Curran is over the wicket. Final ball of the 5th over, and Haynes clips this firmly up towards mid-on. There's Jason Roy with the throw back to Ollie Pope. The end of the over. 5 gone. It's hard work this for Nottinghamshire at the moment. I think it's going to be hard work for the batters tonight. 25 for 2 Nottinghamshire. I saw something I've never seen in the game against Sussex, that Tom Laws and Dan Lawrence came on to bowl, and they bowled their 8 overs in tandem and picked up together something like 5 for 30 odd and changed the Sussex innings. But I've never seen 2 bowlers bowl their 4 overs together.
That used to be the way here for Notts. Get out of the power play and then Sam it from one end, Stephen Mullaney from the other. You'd years on end you'd lock those 2 in for 8 consecutive overs.
Now Jason Roy is being spoken to here. Now umpire O'Shaughnessy, Jason Roy took a kick at the ground when he didn't pick up cleanly, and then umpire O'Shaughnessy came and told him off. And now umpire Pollard, look, he's not happy, Jason Roy. I don't blame him, really.
Little disgruntled. Poor old Jason. Sean Abbott back into the attack, and the first ball is deflected, nicely stopped by Topley up inside the ring at short fine. Good from Haynes, because he was the non-striker but realised the ball had gone behind the stumps and called his man through. Galloped down to the other end. 26 for 2. Haynes on 12 has been very consistent in this competition with a lot of 20s and 30s, but just the 150 this year. Jack Haynes in nice and early. Had clearly loved to push on, especially with the absence of Clark and Munsey. And Haynes will pull this for 4. Right on cue. Sean Abbott just dropping this a fraction short, and Jack Haynes, such a good player. There's not that many that can switch so adaptable between red ball and white ball, but Haynes is one of them. Just pulled this to mid-wicket. It's a poor ball from Sean Abbott, really.
It wasn't that short, but on this pitch with no pace, Haynes has just sat on the back foot waiting for that very good shot.
Here comes Sean Abbott in again. Haynes down the track, and he's hit this in the same direction. There is a fielder out there who'll put the slide in and will keep them to 2. Is that Tom Laws?
It is
out
Tom
there?
Laws. I don't want to put the mockers on Jack Haynes, but this is one of the best 18s I've ever seen. It really is. He has played some beautiful shots so far.
18 from 12. 3 balls left in the power play. It's not going to be the Outlaws' biggest of the season by some distance. So another one out to just challenge Tom Laws on the leg side, but this one straight to him, and clean pick up and return into Ollie Pope's gloves. Ollie Pope, captain and keeper of Surrey, on a ground where he's had a really good run of things for England in Test cricket. 3 Test centuries on this ground for Ollie Pope.
Yeah, and he's captained Surrey well in the T20 since St Curran's last game was against Sussex at Hove.
Pocklington, left-hander, on strike, and he's gone hard at this one, and the ball just strikes him in the midriff somewhere and drops down for Evans to field.
Yeah, and he'll be glad it wasn't a quick pitch there, Mr. Pocklington.
His intent there was clear, and as a result, Surrey just dispatching Laurie Evans from inside the ring on the leg side out to deep mid-wicket. Tom Laws brought up on the other side, almost as if they're saying, well, you can only hit it on the leg side. Abbott into Pocklington, and he's hit this to Jordan at mid-off, and he shies at the stumps. Pocklington galloping down to the far end with a single to end the power play, takes him to 3, And Notts Outlaws are 34 for 2. Mark's already said 150 could be challenging. I was sort of wondering how they're going to get to 150. Certainly a below par power play in T20 Blast cricket. 34 for 2 here on BBC Radio Nottingham. Dave Bracegirdle, Mark Church with you. The quarter-finals all being played on the same evening. I won't say it's not been done before. I would imagine it has been done before, but we have become used to one game getting the centre of attention, haven't we, over 4 consecutive nights in recent seasons. But tonight they're all being lumped together with a nice early start in all of them. And I can tell you, Hampshire are 56 without loss batting against Essex after 7. Yorkshire 45 for 3 after 6 against Somerset. And Northampton, Gloucestershire, they're going to start at 5 o'clock. Gloucestershire will bat first.
Now this will be interesting. We're out the power play. Dan Lawrence comes into the attack from the Radcliffe Road end. Now, this will be interesting to see if he gets turned. I think he will. I think he will. Yeah, I was about to say it'll be fascinating to see how Nottinghamshire manoeuvre their way through this innings. As first ball, look at her whip it through the leg side is Pocklington. Doesn't really get any bat on it. Hits his pad. Immediately gave that a bit of air. Did Dan Lawrence. 2 back on that leg side boundary rope. He's going to start with long off and long on as well. Sweeper on the cover rope. Bowling his off breaks, of course. Around the wicket he comes to the left-handed Pocklington. He's just whipping this one down the ground for a single. It's a long on. And that will bring the right-handed Haynes on to strike on 19. I think the key thing, yeah, it might not be a huge amount of runs so far from Nottinghamshire, but the key thing is they only lost the 2 wickets. I've seen sides on pitches like this that have got no great pace to them be 4 or 5 down in a power play. Keep trying to go hard at it. That's not what Haynes has done here. I think Pocklington's been sent out to do that, but hasn't quite come off yet, as Lawrence is around the wicket to Haynes. Bit of drift there. Haynes drives into the covers. Chris Jordan gets behind this. Ball ricochets away and Ollie Pope comes out.
It's 10 years since Dan Lawrence played a losing quarter-final here for Essex. 10 years, 2016. He didn't bowl. He batted 8 and made 7 runs. His career has come on a bit since those days when he batted 8 in T20 cricket for Essex.
Around the wicket he comes once again. Drift again. Looking to cut was Haynes. That's not turn, that's just drift. And beat the outside edge and taken by Ollie Pope behind the stumps. Nice bit of bowling from Dan Lawrence. 35 for 2 in the 7th over the Outlaws as Lawrence in again. That drifted, but it's whipped leg side by Haynes. Would just be a single out there to Laurie Evans at deep mid-wicket. Well, you saying that about Surrey winning the first one, that's 23 years ago.
Yeah.
23 years.
Ali Brown with a half-century at the top of the order alongside Ian Ward.
The Lord as beats the edge with a bit of turn here as Pocklington's gone onto the back foot looking to punch that through the offside. So that last one did turn. And away from the left-hander, of course, taken by Pope. So tidy first over, 2 off it, 7 gone. And 36 for 2. The Lord, of course, then came to this very parish, did he not?
He did indeed.
Yes, I saw the Lord the other day.
The Lord being
Ali
Brown.
Yes. I remember when once I was going to the dressing room and I knew the combination for the dressing room door, and Ali Brown was behind me. And he said, "Can you do it for me, please?" And I said, "Well, do you not know it?" And he said, "Why would I? I'm the Lord. I have other people to do that sort of thing for me." Brilliant player, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant player.
Won all the trophies there possibly were to win with Surrey, and then came here and was a county championship winner with Notts in 2010. Here's Tom Laws into the attack for the first time. Right arm, medium fast from the broad end. Bowls to Haynes, and Jack Haynes didn't really know where he was after swishing at fresh air, and the ball struck him above the pad. Just at the top of his left leg there, it dropped, and instinct forced him to go charging down the track 2 or 3 paces, and Pocklington said, "Go back, go back."
Yeah, I think this is going to be hard work for batters this afternoon.
36 for 2. The outfield parched as it has been for several weeks, and again Haynes can't get it away. Good from Laws, who started with 2 dots, already had 2 maidens.
How do you work your way through this innings if you're Nottinghamshire? Key thing is wickets. Keep some in the hutch. But yeah, it's going to be manoeuvring yourself through this, I think.
Laws again, passed umpire Pollard bowls, and nice push in the V by Haynes, hitting it straight, and Laws just got a finger to it, but they take the single. 37 for 2.
Could be a low-scoring thriller. I don't mind this. You know, you go to a lot of games and the pitches are rock hard and all you see are 4s and 6s. Actually, to see a pitch where it's making the batters think, it's interesting, this.
Pocklington back on strike. Faced 9 balls now. He's only got 4. Laws bowls, and he slammed this down the ground. Should get at least a couple here, I fancy, from the first one. That's all they're going to get. Evans down there in the deep, and they take 2. Do you think Notts have been lured in a little bit by seeing that Surrey got bowled out for a fairly meagre score on Sunday by Essex's spinners?
I don't know. From what I've seen so far with this pitch, I think they know it's not going to get any easier as the afternoon goes on. And they've got 3 spinners in there. I think, though, that their gamble is, can they put a total on the board?
Yeah. Pocklington on strike, left-hander. That's 6, and he's tried to pull this on the leg side. If he'd got hold of it, he might have actually been caught, but the fielder's quite a long way out there on that Bridgeford Road side of the ground, just a single.
But again, he hasn't timed that at all, has he?
No.
Gave it absolutely everything, and it fairly ballooned away out into the leg side.
Been playing quite a bit for the seconds. He played in the second 11 final last week for Notts, which they lost to Warwickshire after beating Sussex in the final. Pocklington. Haynes back on strike. This is down the leg side. That'll have to be re-bowled by Tom Laws. Well taken by Ollie Pope. Played the first 3 matches of this season's competition. Joe Pocklington, Liam Patterson-White was away with the England Lions. In fact, that first match he was the only spinner because George Linder had not arrived in time. Next ball is off the outside edge down here to third. I would imagine it's Reece Topley. It is down underneath the TV gantry way down below us, and the over comes to an end. 42 for 2, 6 from that over. The third over went for 10 whilst Munsey was still there at a couple of boundaries, but there's not been a lot else. Slim pickings for the Notts batters. 42 for 2 after 8.
Yeah, and I suppose from a Pocklington point of view, he doesn't want to eat up too many deliveries because you've got Moores, you've got Lindy, you've got Benny Howe. They're all capable of launching the ball to all parts. So he's got licence here, Pocklington. Just hasn't quite timed anything yet. Dan Lawrence it will be. His second over from the Radcliffe Road end. Haynes goes inside out over the covers for 6. Lovely shot again. It's a super bit of cricket from Haynes because Abbott was there, but he just manoeuvred it to the left of Sean Abbott and all the way for 6. And as I say, it's one of the best 28. I said it when he was on 18. He has played some gorgeous shots so far. That is a beautiful cricket shot. Inside out, over extra cover, and away for our first 6 of the innings. Lawrence in again. That turned. It was a bit shorter, a bit quicker. It's pulled by Haynes out towards deep mid wicket. Relay bit of fielding as Sykes does the slide and then flicks it up to Laurie Evans, and the throw comes in over the top of the stump. So the 50 comes up, but this just shows it. Haynes has 30 of the 50, but that one did turn. It was quicker and flatter, but it did spin. Lawrence around the wicket to Haynes. That's a full toss. That's flat batted by Haynes out towards the deep mid wicket. There's Ollie Sykes again to do the fielding. One more to Haynes. He moves on to 31. 51 for 2, the Outlaws. But that will be encouraging from a Nottinghamshire point of view to see that ball spin. Chris Jordan's getting warmed up again at short extra. He's not going to bowl spin, I don't think, as Dan Lawrence comes around the wicket. Pocklington's reverse sweeping straight out towards Sykes again, who does the fielding, and Pocklington picks up a single. He moves on to 8. 52 for 2. It's a pretty good crowding, actually, as you say, for a Wednesday afternoon with a certain football game going on this evening, and it's not a bad crowd. It's a lovely day for it. As Lawrence is into Haynes. Haynes forward, just works this one down the ground to Jason Roy at long on. And they'll stroll another single. It was lovely by the river, watching the world go by. There was a gentleman on his bike, and you knew England were playing tonight because he used his horn to do the old England, he shouted as he went past. As reverse sweeping is Pocklington again, but this one's gone straight down to the short third, and there is no run. End of the over. So 11 off that over, better from a Notts point of view, 9 gone. And Nottinghamshire here on BBC Radio Nottingham are 53 for 2.
Yes, 11 overs to find that close to 100 runs that Mark was talking about. And the score they'd be very happy with, I think 150 if they could get there. Chris Jordan, who we've seen just getting loose over the last 2 or 3 minutes, going to get a second over. His first was a terrific one for Surrey, a wicket maiden, got rid of George Munsey, who just helped the ball. Well, it went hard at it, but it flew really gently to Tom Curran up inside the ring at short third. Haynes on 32 from 24, faces Chris Jordan, pushes this square of the wicket for a single. Onto the offside, 54 for 2.
I don't know about you, but obviously with all the music and everything, I said on Sunday, this has been the loudest T20 I can ever remember. It's for some reason it seems to have been a lot louder. I mean, with the music and all the little bits and pieces and the trumpets and flames and...
I don't think we had as many fireworks today, which is something we've sort of been commenting on. These gloriously bright sunny evenings, letting the fireworks off. It just seems like a little bit of a waste.
Not long to turn around for fireworks, since Sunday.
54 for 2. And Pocklington's hit this high into the air now. Then Topley's trying to get underneath it. There's 2 fielders and it's fallen between them. Jason Roy and Rhys Topley. And in the end, the throw comes in from Topley. And they come back for a second.
Yeah, it was one of those after you. No, after you. Jason Roy was sprinting in. Rhys Topley was over his shoulder. And in the end, it landed in between the two of them. It's one of those that when it goes up in the air, you hope someone's putting their name on it because they could have run straight into each other. But as it is, Pocklington picks up a couple.
There's a little bit of that with 2 of the Indian fielders, wasn't there, yesterday in the ODI? I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see any of yesterday.
56 for 2. Pocklington on to 10. Now he's hit this one up in the air again. It's another one. This time Chris Jordan says, I'll try and get after it. And this time it's fallen between 3 fielders. Roy and Topley again, but this time the bowler Jordan. Also Ollie Sykes was also trying to get involved as well.
That's placement. Wow. 2
more to Pocklington. He's hit 2 of the highest balls we've seen today, 2 of the highest shots. And... as we've already said, that side, the Bridgeford Road side, is the ropes right out. Fielders set deep, so he's been able just to plop it between all the fielders.
He's completely mistimed it again, but it's landed in between 4 of them in the end.
Chris Jordan was having that, wasn't he?
Yeah, sprinting off on his follow-through.
I'm not leaving it to those 2 muppets, he was perhaps saying to himself, and thought he could get there and join the show. Pocklington on 12 from 15. 58 for 2. We're in the 10th over, 3 balls left. Umpire Pollard watches on as Pocklington again mistimes it but gets a single. Moves on to 13. 59 for 2.
It's funny, I'm really enjoying this because it's not 4s and 6s every ball. This is going to test the batters. It really is. And I'm always fascinated with how sides manoeuvre their way to a total. And Surrey's run chase is going to be interesting as well.
Not sure what Dan Lawrence has found out there. I don't know if it's a £20 note or what it is, but he's found something out on the square.
If it was a £20 note, I know where it would have been going.
Well, he's just giving it to Steve O'Shaughnessy.
It wouldn't have gone to O'Shaughnessy.
Jordan to the right-handed Haynes, and he'll pull this vigorously out to deep mid-wicket where Surrey have now positioned somebody. Another single taken. 60 for 2. Hello to one and all listening in from the capital, and Greater reaches in the southeast. All the Surrey fans that get in touch on social media ahead of a fixture between these two sides, they'll be having a look at the pictures and listening to our nonsense, just wondering, is it going to be a special evening for Surrey again as Jordan bowls, or will it be Notsu? Just get enough runs and defend it. Again, it's dropped on the leg side, and again they're going to push hard and come back for 2. An extraordinary over that, really. 9 from it. I don't think there was any hit cleanly by Pocklington. Haynes pulled one to deep mid-wicket. That was out of the middle of the bat, but Joe Pocklington is 15 not out from 17. Haynes 34 from 26, and the game, Mark, as you would well know, is full of matches where somebody who perhaps wasn't expected to play has come in and played a part. And we think of that final in 2020 where Peter Trigo was sat there minding his own business, and Chris Nash got injured in the semi-final.
Only Trigo, though. Only Trigo could have done that. Surrey's nemesis, when he played for Somerset for many years in the old T20 and the Championship as well, and one-day stuff, but then out he strode, didn't he, for the one game. So Trigo, that, to play one game, win it.
Got a quick 5:30 or 40, didn't he, in the final, just to tilt things in the way of the Outlaws at a deserted Edgbaston.
Oh, I hate to say this, it was a fairly miserable weekend,
it
wasn't
was,
it?
and when they tried to pipe in fake crowd noise as well. Do you remember
really
that?
Work. So 11th over to be bowled by Tom Curran from the Radcliffe Road end. Haynes is down the pitch too, and that's nicely bowled by Tom Curran. Just took a bit of pace off that, and Haynes had to wait and then just pushes it out into the covers. Dan Lawrence does the fielding. Well, all I do remember is it absolutely chucked it down on Saturday. There was no way we were playing any cricket.
We'll give it another 4 or 5 hours.
And then we all stayed over for Sunday, and then I don't think we started until after lunch on the Sunday.
No, all the matches were shortened, don't they?
Tom Curran. In over the wicket he comes. Haynes is going to ramp here. Oh, he's almost ramped that onto his stumps. It's hit something. And
crikey.
Run up, had a shy at the bowler's end. Nobody's backing up, and they'll get back for 2. I thought for a second that was going to run all the way down to the boundary run. No, now it's been dropped by Dan Lawrence as well. An extra cover. They're going to come back for 3 now. What is going on?
Pope is going to say the ball is dead, and the umpires are going to have to rule on this.
They are. We'll watch this back now, because Pope with the throw. There was nobody backing up. Then it's Jason Roy with the throw, and then it's gone to Dan Lawrence, and Dan Lawrence hasn't taken it, and they're going to say it's dead. So Ollie Pope, there'll be boos around the ground. My goodness, we've had some comedy cricket so far.
That could have been the wicket-keeper conceding overthrows, or 2 different overthrows from the same ball.
Oh, it's extraordinary. We've had
2 wild throws from Pope.
Yeah, well, and we've also had Pocklington managing to sort of just get it in between 4 fielders. Haynes waits, slower ball, hauled into the leg side by Haynes. Round comes Jason Roy, one-handed pick-up and throw from Jason Roy. Good bit of work. Over the top of the stumps, and Haynes moves on to 37.
That's the best Jason Roy pick-up since you and I were watching in the Larwood and Vos away to our left all those years back, 2019, the World Cup final, when he threw the ball in. England beat New Zealand.
Absolutely.
You and I watched that together. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Sat not knowing what was going on, like everybody else, with Dean Algar going, oh no, as Tom Curran gets ready to come in over the wicket to Pocklington. And he's ramping. He's played it nicely up and over the top of Ollie Pope. Again, he's not got all of it. Josh Philippe is giving chase. He'll knock the ball back inside the boundary rope. And again, it just shows how difficult it is to time everything. But he got enough bat on it to get it over Ollie Pope. Good partnership, this. It's worth 48. It's been hard work. But Pocklington's on to 17.
I'm going to say he's nearly got up to a run of ball. He was really struggling early on, wasn't he? 4 from 9. He's 17 from 18 now.
This is certainly not a pitch you can walk out from ball 1 and stop popping balls over the top of the pavilion, I don't think. As Tom Curran is in, and Pocklington again doesn't time this. He was looking to go through extra cover. He's through it early. Toe end of the bat down to Chris Jordan at long on, and they'll pick up a single.
I've not mentioned Josh Philippe's name yet. Where is he?
Where now? I just saw him. He hasn't picked the ball up yet, poor fella. Apart from when he ran back there, so he's at backward point, short third.
Yeah.
That was his first touch with the ramp shot from Pocklington.
Australian.
played very nicely for Surrey.
Sydney sixer, I think, isn't he?
He is indeed. As in over the wicket comes Tom Curran. That's short, that's pulled by Haynes out towards Ollie Sykes at deep mid. Apologies, Laurie Evans at deep mid wicket, and the throw comes in, one bounce over the top of the stump. So again, it's an interesting over without too many boundaries, but that is the 50 partnership, and they've done it very nicely so far, because as I say, this is going to be hard work for batters this afternoon and this evening. 50 partnership from 43 deliveries.
Yes, Joe Pocklington doing his bit. Not sure what the announcement was. Oh, he's just trying to get a little bit of interaction, I think.
Noise.
Yeah.
And as I pointed out on Sunday, I don't know about you, Dave Bracegirdle, I like to make that decision myself. I don't like to be told.
James Vince is doing his stuff for Hampshire, another T20 half-century. Hampshire 104 for 1 after 13 against Essex. Yorkshire 98 for 3 after 12 against Somerset as Laws comes in. And this is hit back to him. Haynes is going to get a single. Do you think it was a drop or a bump ball?
I think it's a drop.
Either way,
hit hard.
Bowler couldn't take it, and they take a single. The other one, Gloucestershire, a very poor start. It didn't start till 5 o'clock, and Gloucestershire 20 for 3 in the 4th. That's at Northampton.
Well, my prediction of them being that the side that might slip under the radar.
Gloucestershire.
That's not going very well.
Single taken, 70 for 2. Next ball sees Pocklington heave it out onto the leg side, straight to the fielder again. Only one more.
But then again, I did say Dom Sibley would take 100 first-class wickets. So
Sorry was in the squad for this one, and Matt Fisher.
Yep, they're both here.
71 for 2. Finals day on Saturday doesn't leave fans, whoever gets through, too long to sort of make arrangements. I'd like to think they've set aside enough tickets for the fans of the sides that make it to finals day. And Haynes has hit this in the air, but it's wide of Jordan and down the ground for 4. Just for a moment I wondered if he hadn't hit it as cleanly as he would have hoped, and Jordan might be interested in pulling off a specky at mid-off, but it was well to the right of Chris Jordan and away for 4 runs.
Yeah, I don't think he's got all of it, but what he's done really well is just about kept his shape. He didn't try and haul that leg side.
Laws waste little time in coming in and bowling, and then a nice little scoop from Haynes for 4. 1-2 bounces over the rope down at fine leg. I think it's just about the first time anybody has improvised and the ball come off the face nice and cleanly. It was a lovely bit of manufacturing of a boundary by Jack Haynes.
Well, as you can probably tell, I'm enjoying this innings from Jack Haynes, but again, he's waiting. That's the key thing. He's waiting for the ball here.
47 from 33 now. Laws into bowl to Haynes, and he gets one outside the off stump that he was looking to cut. He wanted a little bit more pace on that so he could square cut it, potentially find a space on the offside boundary, but I think Laws had taken fraction of pace off it. 80 for 2, 1 ball left in the 12th. Reece Topley's just whirled his arms around. Heard from his father this morning. Said he'd be listening to us in
he's in France,
deepest, darkest France somewhere. Right. I bet that was fun last night.
Yeah.
Watching the football as Pocklington pulls this behind square for a single. 81 for 2.
What you meant where he was in France from the photo. Well, of course, he messaged me on Sunday with the Dutoy family listening in. I've got to say, though, and it's lovely that he's listening, but he's in France. There must be like a nice chateau or wine bar to be sat at somewhere, you would have thought, eating nice cheese. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Got to keep an eye on Reece. 12 from that over, by the way, so that if it's not the best over of the innings, it's certainly close. It may well be the best over of the innings, that last one, 12 coming from it. A little bit more of Dan Lawrence, 2 overs early on, went for 13 runs.
Yeah, and he's bowling the 13th over on the Radcliffe Road end, and Pocklington stepped outside his leg stump. Now, how much of this has he got? Enough. That's going to go for 6. And that's good batting. And the interesting thing with that is Haynes, as he saw that go for 6, he was the one punching the back of his bat. Pocklington just watched it soar away, but I think Haynes has almost sort of said, great, he's time one.
Only his 5th game, Joe Pocklington, and this is a career best in T20, 20 not out.
A quarter-final to boot. As he's back to outside the leg stump. He's tried again. He'll probably go here because Jason Roy's underneath there and takes the catch. So Pocklington with a 6, tried it again, and that one taken by Jason Roy, safe and sound. And Pocklington's innings comes to an end on 21, but he's done a pretty good job there because it's been hard work, but he's stuck around with Haynes. The thing that will disappoint him is the ball after the first one he launched, he hasn't timed that at all, and it's taken very safely by Jason Roy, and Pocklington gone for 20.
Yeah, didn't time too many in absolute truth, but he's played his part there in a terrific partnership worth 62 with Jack Haynes. All left, a lefty replacing a lefty as Pocklington goes. Tom Moore's on his way out to the middle. Tom Moore's the only remaining survivor of both sides that have won the Blast for Notts, 2017 and 2020. In fact, from the team that beat Surrey in that behind closed doors final in 2020, there's only Joe Clark and Tom Moore's playing in this match for Notts. There's Jason Roy, Laurie Evans and Rhys Topley. They were members of the Surrey side.
Seems a long time ago that. As Tom Moore's, as Mr. Bracegirdle says, is out there at number 5. Left-hander, of course. Very capable of hitting the ball in strange areas is Tom Moore's. Very effective player as Lawrence is into him, and here he is driving. It's off a thickish edge. He should get 2 hit. He will get 2 as that swings Ollie Sykes round from the cover boundary. Moores is off the mark straight away. And 89 for 3.
He's been hitting some big balls in this season's competition. Tom Moore's 295 runs he scored.
Lawrence into him. Short pull by Moores. Out towards deep mid-wicket. 1 bounce to Josh Philippi. There he is. And he does the fielding. And it's just a single. Moores moves on to 3. Outlaws move on to 90 for 3.
A couple of 50s for Tom Moores. 75 not out in the defeat away at Derby. And 51 not out here last Friday in the home win over Leicestershire.
Haynes back onto strikers. Lawrence is in. Flatter delivery cut by Haynes out towards Josh Philippi. There you go, you see. Hasn't touched the ball and then gets 2 on the trot. So Moores comes back onto strike on 3. Haynes moves on to 49. Gorgeous day. Not a cloud in the sky. Nice and warm. Another hot day. I was hearing first time ever. It's been 9 consecutive days where somewhere in the country it's been 30 degrees.
Good grief.
As forward goes Moores and pushes this one from Lawrence back up the pitch, and there's no run. So 10 off the over, but the wicket of Pocklington. 13 gone then here on BBC Radio Nottingham. The Outlaws 91 for 3. They have 7 overs remaining.
Yes, I couldn't really see it at the end of the power play, but with wickets in hand, 7 overs to go, they could still get that 150 that you threw down there, and I quite like the sound of, I must admit, getting 150 on this surface.
The key thing is, you just said it there, they've got wickets in hand. On this surface, sides could have really gone after it and been 5 down in the power play, but they played it pretty sensibly so far, the Outlaws.
So Jack Haynes, 1 run away from second half century of this season's competition, and Tom Moore's bowling, and it's it out to deep cover, and Haynes gets his 50. So very decent knock that, and a good hand from those inside this famous old ground. Jack Haynes getting to 50 from 36 balls, 4 fours and 1 6.
Isn't it interesting? That's one of the best innings I've seen in this competition this summer on a pitch that's not easy. He has played beautifully so far for these 50 runs. Good player, isn't he, Jack Haynes? Yeah.
Tom Moore's then just scratching away at a mark given to him by Paul Pollard, former Notts opener many a moon ago. Has Curran bowls and strikes Moores, I think, on the pad. It's run away behind square on the offside. Josh Philippe, there he is, doing the fielding, and they take a leg by. One more to the Outlaws, 93 for 3.
As I told you, and they shall remain nameless, but I did my research and got someone to go and ask the man himself, how do you pronounce your surname? And back they came and told me it was Philippa. So for the first 2 games, Josh Philippa scored lots of runs for Surrey.
I've watched him enough times in the blast whilst having me the cornflakes on a cold December morning. The basher, rather, the Australian Big Bash, as Haynes cuts this to backward point for another single. 94 for 3.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting this winter, because the first game's in India, isn't it?
Yep.
It's all beginning to change.
The more things stay the same, the more they change, or the other way around, whatever it is. Yeah. 94 for 3. Tom Moores likes to hit towards that Bridgeford Road side, but it's quite a big boundary today. Curran bowls and just drop it on the offside and yell, yeah, and he's going to come back for 2, and provided they get home, it's terrific running, and they do get home. Sean Abbott with the shy, the non-striker's end. You've got to get up early in the morning, I think, to run either of these two out with a direct hit from distance. It's great running. Moore's on to 5, 96 for 3 in the 14th over.
I think that's something that Surrey will have to do today as well, is run so hard between the wickets.
Place at finals day on Saturday up for grabs. Notts playing in their 15th quarter-final. As Curran bowls to Moores, again a little push, and the bowler will get there, and then it's a chance of an overthrow as Curran turned and flicked it back towards the stumps, but nobody was able to react in time to get back for the second. 97 for 3.
I think he may have thrown that straight onto his own foot, Tom Curran, because he was he's hobbling back to the top of his mark. But I think as he's let it go, I think he's almost thrown it into himself, nearly. I think actually it was the way he twisted.
Yeah. Final ball of the 14th. Here comes Curran. In again bowls, and Haynes didn't get all of that, and manages to keep it down as he hits it to deep mid-wicket for a single. End of the 14th, 98 for 3. Jack Haynes 52, Tom Moores 6. Notts, as I say, playing their 15th quarter-final in the 24th season of the Blast. They've got a finals day on 6 occasions, winning twice. Surrey playing their 13th quarter-final. But generally, if they get to the quarter-final, they get through to finals day. You've been to 9 finals day, Mark, and only won 1 of them, which I guess is a source of frustration as much as it's a bit of a head-scratcher for everybody else. Why Surrey haven't won since that first year, but there's time this year to put that right.
There is. Notts won it the first time in 2017.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in
saying. 17 and 20 under Dan Christian.
That's right. Oh, yes, of course, Mr. Christian. So, Tom Laws from the Radcliffe Road end to bowl the 15th over. Haynes on strike on 52. As Laws is into him, Haynes drives, square of the wicket. Round comes Sean Abbott to do the fielding in front of the Fox Road stand, and the throw one bounce over the top of the stump. So Haynes picks up a single.
Yeah, we had Fletcher Christian here. I saw you had a clever photo the other day of Roy Evans.
Oh, I was so pleased with that. I was so pleased with my new game that I played with it as well.
Jason Roy and Laurie Evans
walking down the steps. Brilliant photo from Rupert, Scotland. And it made me think to myself, well, can anybody else find 2 openers who are the same name as a former Premier League manager? As over the wicket comes Tom Laws to Moores, drives up and over the top of short extra. Oh, Jason Roy, great effort at log off. He's taken that on the half volley, diving forward. That is a brilliant bit of work from Jason Roy, because that was hit firmly by Moores. That's the 100 up, but that was a fantastic bit of work from Jason Roy on the half volley.
We'll not see a better bit of fielding today. Certainly nothing wrong with his right shoulder then, was there? That was really good stuff from Roy.
Haynes back onto strike as Laws is over the wicket to him. Slower ball, hit straight back down the ground off the back foot for 4. Roy won't get round to that, and again, the key thing with that shot from Haynes is he's kept his shape. He hasn't tried to smash it over mid-wicket. He's kept his shape and waited. Good bit of batting again from Haynes. This is a terrific innings.
Yeah.
It really is. On this surface, very fine innings this from Haynes.
And obviously the longer he stays in, the better.
104 for 3. It's on to 57 as Laws is into him. Drives again out towards the sweeper on the cover rope. That's Sean Abbott to do the fielding.
I don't think it's going to be easy for anybody to start.
No way.
Now he's in and got the pace of the wicket.
It will take something exceptional to walk in there from ball 1 and start popping balls over the boundary.
I mean, that was the intent, I think, in sending Pocklington out.
Absolutely, but
took him a while.
I think Nottinghamshire have thought to themselves, this is not going to get any easier to bat, as this is driven. Full length delivery, well bowled by Tom Laws, by Tom Moores. And that's a nightmare, isn't it? Tom Laws and Tom Moores. And he picks up a single, does Moores. He's on to 8, 106 for 3. But that would have been the thinking. It's going to be hard work to start with, and it's not going to get any quicker, this pitch. So, with the sun out as well, hot old day this. As over the wicket goes Laws to Haynes on the back foot. Good looking shot again, just for a single. As Abbott does the fielding. And they'll pick up one more. So Haynes keeps the strike. 15 gone. 107 for 3. And yeah, Haynes playing a lovely hand here. 59 from 42 deliveries.
It doesn't seem that long ago since I just mentioned that James Vince had got a half century. He's doubled that. James Vince of Hampshire, 104 not out from 54 balls. With 14 fours and 4 sixes. Hampshire 173 for 1 with 3 overs still to go. That's at home to Essex.
Essex won the toss and put them in, didn't they, I think?
Essex won the toss and decided to field. Yeah.
Well, perhaps they fancy chasing.
Joe Weatherly's 44 not out. So good score there for Hampshire as Reece Topley's changed ends, bowls to Haynes. And he just sort of tennis bats it down the ground to long on for a single.
Sinner would have been proud of that one, certainly.
So Hampshire 174 for 1 with 3 overs to go against Essex. Yorkshire 111 for 5 against Somerset. Moeen Ali got a first baller. Johnny Bairstow out for 1. Adam Lyth 64, but he's now just gone. 111 for 5 with 5 to go. Yorkshire against Somerset. And the other game, Gloucestershire 65 for 3 in the 8th. Here's Moores, and he's got hold of that one. That's a big hit from Tom Moores, the biggest of the day. He's hit it into the fridge, as they call it. The stand on the Bridgeford Road side of the ground. Doesn't get the sun in there. But Tom Moores has deposited this white cricket ball off the bowling of Reece Topley several rows deep. That's a big blow from Tom Moores. That's a 6 on most grounds in the country.
Goodness gracious. Well, it's fair to say he's picked that one up, Tom Moores. And what was nice, I liked, was the swivel as well from Tom Moores with the pull shot off the back foot with a very nice swivel there. Just watched it soar away for 6.
It's a nice moment for him on on Sunday as well at Headingley, Tom Moores. He got 2 dismissals there to take him past Chris Reed. As Topley in again down the leg side. That'll have to be re-bowled. So Reece Topley, in fact it was a quicker ball from Reece, really pushed that one through, but it just slid down the leg side of Moores. Yeah, he's now got 87 dismissals for the Outlaws in T20 Blast cricket. He's gone 1 ahead of Chris Reed, who of course was the keeper for the first portion of this competition. Tom Moores making his debut in 2016. Played in both winning finals, and he's still going strong. 14 not out. Topley in again to bowl to him, and again he's hit it, but straight I think to deep mid wicket. Should be caught, and is. No, it's been spilled. Oh my word, how did that come out? Well, he got it.
Wally Sykes
seemed to get it, and then momentum taking him forward, and the nice roll, the nice little parachute roll as they're all taut out there. And the ball just inexplicably came out. So,
yeah, well, it's when he rolls.
Yep.
And I think his elbows hit the ground and the ball came out.
Tom Moores remains on 15. They only got 1. Haynes is on 60. Topley in again, takes the pace off a shorter ball, banged into the surface. Haynes just paddles it away on the leg side. And Knott's just getting the rub of the green at the moment. One or two things just going their way. 117 for 3.
Well, Sean Abbott's throw wasn't his best because it went straight over Ollie Pope's head, and it was good backing up from Josh Philippi, but all he did, Sean Abbott, was showed his muscles there to Ollie Pope.
2 balls left in the 16th over, not setting after winning the toss. Topley bowls, and Moores has leathered that along the ground for 4. Absolutely laced that one. No opportunity for either of the 2 fielders out there, Jason Roy or Ollie Sykes, to get anywhere near that, and another boundary. That makes that the most expensive over of the innings so far from the Surrey's perspective. The largest off the bat of knots. Of course, it's at the moment going to be a 7-ball over as well, that wide that Topley bowled early on.
It's good for Moores, this.
121 for 3. 1 ball left in the 16th over. 25 balls left in the innings. Moores quickly on to 19. Topley bowls to him, and he's going to take a single, pushing it onto the offside. 122 for 3, so 15 from that over. Rhys Topley, 3 overs, 1 for 25. Began with a wicket maiden. If you weren't with us, Joe Clark out in the first over, which was a wicket maiden. George Munsey out in the 4th over to Chris Jordan, which was also a wicket maiden. George Munsey made 11. Joe Pocklington playing in this match instead of Freddie McCann went in at number 4. We thought in a bit of a pinch-hitting role, but he struggled really to find any degree of timing until right at the end of his innings. The ball before he was out, he hit for 6 and then went for another one and was caught in the deep, out for 20. That was 81 for 3, and already this pair have added 41 punchy runs. Tom Moores is on 20 from 17. Jack Haynes has he's just come off my screen and it's just gone off the scoreboard, but I'll tell you what Haynes has got in a moment.
60 not out, Jack Haynes. And Chris Jordan it will be.
61 he's got from 44
now. Chris Jordan to bowl the 17th over from the Radcliffe Road end. So that 150's looking on now for Nottinghamshire. Anything above that would be bonus time, I think, from a Nottinghamshire. Shall I start that again?
Not Outlaws.
From a Not Outlaws perspective. I almost got perspective wrong there as well. Here is Chris Jordan then. Start the 17th over, coming into Moores, who's going to go. Here is he. Is he caught at short third? Rhys Topley's claiming it, diving forward, and Moores is waiting for umpire Pollard.
Pollard's
and he's
given
it. Yep. So Moores goes for 20. He's well within his rights to ask the umpire. There is Moores, and Rhys Topley, good catch, diving forward at short third. And I think he was actually asking more whether it was a bump ball. But it's a good clean catch from Rhys Topley. But Moores goes for 20, but he's done a bit of damage there. As Tom Moores, 122 for 4.
Back to good old-fashioned umpiring, isn't it? There's no opportunity just to pass it upstairs and let somebody have a look at different television angles, different replays, different shots, as to whether it was taken cleanly and then was it a bump ball or not. Just back to good old-fashioned umpiring, going on what they saw out there. 2 umpires between them just had a look and a nod. 2 of the experienced ones, Steve O'Shaughnessy and Paul Pollard. Pollard closest to the catch, and he nodded straight away. So
George Linder is out there. And here is a gentleman that is very capable of hitting a very long ball, George Linder.
Averaging just over 30 in this season's competition, best of 55.
He's made a hell of a career in the shorter form of the game, George Linder.
I think maybe later on, if not so to win this, it may be George Linder that will help get them there, because his slow left-arm bowling has been absolutely terrific in this season's competition.
So, left-handed Linder waiting for his first delivery with Chris Jordan around the wicket to him. And, bowls him, all ends up, and Chris Jordan's on a hat-trick. Knocks his off stump out the ground. Cracking piece of bowling. And Linder pushed forward, and his off stump out the ground, and all of a sudden, the Outlaws are 122 for 5.
It was a little unexpected as far as the home supporters were concerned, and I'm sure as far as Joyce Linder was concerned. But as I said even before he took that ball, I think if he has a good day with the ball, Notts won't mind too much. But maybe left a few runs out there. Here comes Benny Howell.
Well, I tell you what, that is a cracking delivery from Chris Jordan. I think that has, from around the wicket, on the angle, hit the deck and gone the other way, and just beaten his outside edge and knocked his off stump out the ground.
T20 quarter-final here in 2013. Sean Tate, the Australian who played for Essex in those days, got a hat-trick, the last visiting hat-trick here in the Blast. Came in a quarter-final 13 years ago.
What I always remember is Chris Jordan's one in the T20 World Cup in Barbados, where he took a hat-trick in front of the family. So, Benny Howell out there in the middle, Chris Jordan on a hat-trick, but I think if we see that George Linder dismissal again, that is just a top-quality bit of bowling from Chris Jordan.
There was no pace off there, I don't think.
No, and I think, as I say, on the angle came in and just held its line and took the off-stump out the ground. So, Benny Howell right-handed, Chris Jordan on a hat-trick, 122 for 5, the Outlaws. Jordan's in, and Howell forward solidly and plays it up the ground for a single. So, one more to the total, 123 for 5. I saw Mr. Howell coming out the gym earlier.
Got 30 at Headingley on Sunday. That matches his best for Notts. This is his first season. Benny Howell with Notts. Also his first season in the North Group. Said he's had all those years with Hampshire and Gloucestershire. Just fancied playing in the North Group for a change.
Really? And he's brought the weather with him.
Now finds himself playing against Surrey.
Well, that's the way it works, isn't it? It was like when Surrey got their big away game in another group, and it was against Gloucestershire and Bristol. As in over the wicket once again comes Jordan to Haynes, and Haynes forward, pushes to Philippi. He's doing the fielding there at extra cover. They'll pick up one more, 124 for 5. Because, of course, Gloucestershire have been in Surrey's group for however long, so it wasn't sort of a new venture for Surrey to Bristol.
No, Notts had Warwickshire here, but we had a new away trip. Had to go all the way down to Canterbury on a Friday night.
Ooh, exciting! It's good at Canterbury on a Friday. Lively.
Far.
Yes, there is that as well. 124 for 5 is Chris Jordan. Couple of wickets in this over, 2 in 2 balls. He's into Benny Howell, and Howell just pushes this into the leg side. Picks up a single down towards long on. There's Jason Roy to do the fielding.
Just halted the momentum, hasn't he? This over from Chris Jordan. 3 runs, 2 wickets, 1 ball left.
Yeah, he's got 3 for 12 at the moment. Took 2 for 5 against Kent on Friday night. Seems ages ago, that. There's last ball of this, the 17th over. As in over the wicket goes Chris Jordan, and Haynes backs away to a full toss, cuts this out towards the sweeper on the cover point boundary road. It was below waist high, despite someone in the crowd crying no ball, and it's the end of a very good over from Chris Jordan. Couple of wickets in it, so there are 3 overs to go. Outlaws 126 for 5.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any holding back from here on in. It'll be 3 overs where Notts have got to be full of intent, get as many balls away to the boundary as they possibly can. 24, 8 and over would get them to 150. And got into this position. I think anything less than that now would be seen as a little bit of a failure. Still Liam Patterson-White, Ollie Stone, Mohamed Amir and Benora Fernando to come as this one's helped away onto the leg side, and the first ball of the over very close to the rope, signalled as 4 by umpire Pollard. Too far away to tell. We'll go with umpire Pollard. He's signalled a 4 and he doesn't seem in any doubt, so there we are.
I think that was inside the boundary road. Good shot again from Haynes. He's playing an absolute gem here now. This is worth 100 on a sort of good night of balls flying into boundary boards, and nothing wrong with this surface at all, but it's just hard work for the batters.
He's on 67, Jack Haynes. Topley again, and I think he'll get away with that one. He will. Haynes stayed where he was, so that's in his normal stance in front of the stumps, and this was very full, and I think it clipped that blue guideline. So nicely bowled by Reece Topley.
I said the other day I'd like those blue guidelines in my general everyday life, Dave Rosegirdle. They would definitely help, I think.
Know if you're stepping over the guidelines or stepping outside the guidelines or whatever the phrase is. Haynes on 67. Here's Topley in again, and he's bowled it nice and full, and Haynes almost swinging himself off his feet. Will just take a leg by or have to settle for a leg by. 5 from 3 balls in this over, and Jack Haynes swishing away furiously at fresh air. A little disappointed that he missed out on that. Reece Topley's England career just seemed to stalled for a moment, but you wonder maybe a new regime.
Yeah, well, I think there'll be a few thinking that.
131 for 5, 2.5 overs left. Benny Howell on strike across his stumps, and he's paddled this away for 4 runs. Nicely played by Benny Howell. He's not been out there long. In fact, that was just his 3rd ball faced, and he's gone right across his stumps and just managed to deflect it wide of Tom Curran and gets a boundary. 2nd one in the over.
Good batting again from Haynes. Even with that shot, Howell, apologies. I was about to say he's kept his shape, but then I've seen it again, and Benny Howell actually fell over as he played that, but it's effective. This is what Benny Howell can do. He does play some strange shots, but they're effective.
And he's gone for it again, and he's got hold of it again. And this one will go. Now that one's gone over the rope. Fairly sure that one's cleared the rope down below us for 6 runs, and it has indeed.
I've just seen Ollie Pope look up at Chris Jordan with his right hand and do the old chatting sign to Chris Jordan to go to Reece Topley and say, get outside the off stump. Because he's bowling sort of on-off stump, so that's allowing Benny Howell to get across and get inside it, and that signal from Ollie Pope was get it wider outside that off stump.
Here comes Topley. 10 off 2 balls for Howell. Comes down the track and he's missed it, and well taken by a tumbling Ollie Pope. And the over has come to an end. 141 for 5. 15 from that over. It seemed as if it was going to peter out into not very much at all until Benny Howell back-to-back balls hit a 4 and a 6. Big thanks to the Notts Heritage team for confirming for me, Steve and the guys, that Benny Howell, the first and so far only cricketer ever to play for Nottinghamshire, born in France, born in Bordeaux in France.
There you are, you see.
Ooh la la.
Très bon, Monsieur Howell. 141 for 5. I've not got nothing else for you, really. It's Chris Jordan, who's going to bowl on 19th over. And always look for the reverse ramp there as Haynes gets nothing on it, just trying to go over short 3rd. I'm trying to look at the clock because cut-off time's 5:52 and they are rushing.
Bottom left.
Thank you. So yes, Chris Jordan's got to get through this over in about 2.5 minutes from here. Otherwise, Surrey lose a fielder from outside the fielding circle. As he turns once again, does Chris Jordan. Haynes waits with bat raised on 67. Haynes swings this into the leg side. Just a single down to Jason Roy. Haynes moves on to 68, 142 for 5.
It was a sluggish start to the innings for Notts. 2 maidens in the first 4 overs. They can't afford a sluggish ending. 10 balls left.
They might struggle to hit that cut-off time, sorry, here. 4 balls to go.
Sometimes you can be penalised for getting a wicket, can't you?
You can. You really can. And fielding changes. And they've just made one. They've dropped short fine down to the boundary rope and brought long off up to the edge of the circle for Howell. 12 not out, Benny Howell, as Chris Jordan's into him short, and Benny Howell punches straight out to Philippi, and they'll take a single as the throw comes in. So that brings Haynes back onto strike. And 68.
A lot of the times I've seen it happen, sides have to bring a fielder in, the batting side then invariably chip one up straight to that fielder anyway, and you think, well, if he hadn't have been there. 9 balls left.
Chris Jordan's just jogged back to the top of his mark there. As over the wicket he comes to Haynes. Haynes swings him leg side. Should just be a single because Ollie Sykes waits for this to bounce into his hands, then gets the throw away. And Haynes will just get a single. He moves on to 69. So good over this from Chris Jordan. No boundaries in it thus far. He's jogging back again to the top of his mark because Surrey have to be ready to go for the start of the final over by the time that clock ticks round to 52. I don't think they'll get there, and I think they'll lose a fielder in the last over. As Benny Howe waits, short, swung by Howe. This could go all the way. It does go all the way. Over Laurie Evans' head is probably the shortest boundary. He's toe-ended that, has Benny Howe, but he's picked the shortest side of the ground and got enough on it to get it over Laurie Evans, and the 150 is up. I think anything from here is bonus time for Nottinghamshire. 150 for 5.
Just wondering how significant home advantage is for Notts here. We've got a team that are used to playing on one of the smaller grounds in the country, even though the boundaries are pushed out today, against the side playing at the Oval, one of the biggest. And it'll be interesting to see. As you said, Surrey have got to take all the twos that are possible. They've got to realise where the pockets are that you can get twos.
That's the word, pockets.
Still one ball left in this over.
And now they've missed the cut-off time now. So they will lose a fielder in that last over. Yeah, they're having to bring it up now. So they've only got 4 out now because we've hit 52. So they've had to bring the sweeper off the cover rope up to the edge of the circle. So they've only got 4 now, Surrey, for the final ball of this, the 19th, and they'll only be allowed 4 for the last over. How costly could that be? Benny Howe will be aiming to go through the covers here, but he's going to go around the wicket. Chris Jordan to Howe, and Howe, well, what's happened here? Benny Howe's trying to reverse. Brilliant from Ollie Pope. Howe got nothing on it. Pope was going to his left, went back to his right, and then threw the ball back at the stumps, and Benny Howe's just about got his bat down in time. Extraordinary little bit of cricket that, but that's the end of the over from Chris Jordan, the end of Chris Jordan's 4 overs. We've got 1 to go. Surrey will only be allowed 4 fielders outside the circle, and Nottinghamshire are 150 for 5. That was
great work from Pope.
It really was.
In both senses, it was a brilliant adjustment to stop the ball, having been wrong-footed initially, and then to have the presence of mind to throw the stumps down as well. It looked very, very tight from here. Umpire Pollard obviously is sideways on, square of the wicket, immediately said not out. And Benny Howell survives. Howell 19 from 8 balls faced, just given the innings a timely boost. Jack Haynes been there since the very first over when Joe Clark stood and argued his case that he shouldn't be given out caught behind. That might come back to bite him.
I think he might be asked about that.
69 from 52. It's going to be Tom Curran to bowl the final over of the innings, and Haynes has hit this down the ground. Fielder down there in the deep, and comes the throw, and they'll get back for 2. 152 for 5.
Longest boundary. Haynes didn't really time that, but it's the longest boundary, so that enabled them to get back for 2. What the umpire's talking, 1 short.
Oh, crikey me.
Oh, Haynes 1 short there. So what 1 short means is he didn't run his bat in at the bowler's end. So that'll only be a single. 151 for 5. Haynes stays on strike. Now they're swapping Sean Abbott with Laurie Evans. So off goes Sean Abbott down towards log on. Laurie Evans comes towards short mid wicket. It's all happening here. We've had 2 wicket maiden overs. We've had Chris Jordan on a hat trick. We've now had 1 short.
Curran into Haynes, and he's going to get 1 run here. That's good work again from Topley. He's literally thrown himself all around the Trent Bridge outfield in this innings. Reece Topley done very well indeed. Took the catch to get rid of Tom Moores, which was a good one. Plenty of successful dives. So they only get 152 for 5.
I think this is a good total.
Topley bowled out 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 39. Jordan 4 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 22.
I think Surrey are going to have to bat really well to get this. They've got the batting to do it, but they're going to have to bat sensibly.
4 balls left in the innings. And this is hit straight to extra cover, and that's the end of Benny Howell's innings, out for 19. So a wicket for Tom Curran. Looking to just try and find the big shot over the offside. Dan Lawrence with the catch at extra cover. Benny Howell, it 1 4 and 2 sixes. Good little knock from him. 152 for 6 as Howell goes, having made 19.
Yeah, I think that's a good 19 from Benny Howell. He looks absolutely livid with himself as he marches off. But I think that's a good 19 runs. He came out and a couple of sixes and a boundary in there. Not everything went quite where he meant it to, but it's effective. And Benny Howell goes marching off in high dudgeon away to our right. But I think he's done a pretty good job there for the Outlaws.
New man is Liam Patterson-White. In case you didn't hear the news early on, or me mention it, Liam Patterson-White today the club has announced today that he's signed a new contract extension, 3 more years, keeping him at Trent Bridge up until the end of the 2029 season. If he carries on as he is, I can't imagine that by the end of the 2029 season he won't have played many times for England, delivering with both red ball and white ball.
Yeah, I think red ball, from what I saw of him in the Championship.
152 for 6. Not got long to hang about here. 3 balls left in the innings. Here comes TC. Bowls to LPW. He's got hold of this one, the first one, and he's hit the first ball into the pavilion seats for 6.
Whoa.
158 for 6. I think Mark and I early on said unlikely that anybody would go out there and be able to do it from ball 1.
Goodness me.
That's a terrific blow, isn't it?
It really is. First ball on a pitch that's not easy, not coming onto the bat, and he just stood there and slotted it. Held the pose as well, quite rightly.
Just a little nod, almost a nod of appreciation from Tom Curran as well. Sean Abbott asking the patrons in those comfy seats, if I can have a ball back, please. 158 for 6. 2 balls left. There comes Curran again. He won't put it there, I'm sure. He's pitched it up and pushed into the offside for a single by Liam Patterson-White. So probably, apart from a bit of running up and down, his work is done. 7 from 2. Jack Haynes 71 not out. 159 for 6. Surrey are going to need 160 at least.
Yeah, it's been a good innings this from Haynes. As I say, on another day, this is worth 100. It's always a strange thing to say, isn't it, that? But
yeah.
It is definitely worth 100, this from Haynes.
Knots were 34 for 2 at the end of the power play. That's 62 for 2, the halfway stage. Can they get 3 runs off this final ball? Unlikely they'll get exactly 3, but let's have a look. It's hit to deep mid-wicket. Now there's no fielders out there. That's going to be touch and go, and it's gone for 4. It did touch something. It touched the rope, and Haynes finishes with a boundary. So more than 100 runs, 101 runs coming in the final 10 overs there for Notts. Jack Haynes finishes 75 not out from 54 balls. Liam Patterson-White at the other end, 7 not out. It was the one standout innings, Mark. Liam Patterson-White coming in there with the 6 and the 1, but Jack Haynes leading them off. 75 not out. A couple of 20s from Joe Pocklington and Tom Moores, 19 from Benny Howell and 11 from George Munsey, George Linder and Joe Clark failing to trouble the scorers. I think we've got an interesting game on our hands.
Yeah, and I think Surrey will have to bat really well to make 164, because I don't think this surface is easy. We saw Lawrence get a bit of turn, the ball's not coming onto the bat. They're capable of doing it, but that innings from Haynes, exceptional. 75 not out. Pick of the bowlers for Surrey. Chris Jordan with his 3 wickets, I would say. But yeah, this is going to be a fascinating run chase.
Lots of options for Joe Clark, but big pressure, I think, on his shoulders to whether to get this right or not, because they've got 3 genuine quicks in Ollie Stone, Mohamed Amir and Benura Fernando, and you've sort of got to get it right, haven't you? If it's taking spin, then use the spinners and make sure you get all your overs of spin in. Even if you have got...
I wonder against Roy and Evans, with a left arm spinner taking it away from the two right-handers, whether they might be tempted to go early with one of the spinners. They'd have to pick the right end, because inside out over extra cover, they'd have to bowl, I think, if they were going to do that from this Nackington Road end, because it's longer boundary over extra cover. But I'm pretty sure they'll be tempted just to let a spinner have a go early in the power play.
We've just hit 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Nottingham. We'll be back on all frequencies for the run chase. Surrey require 165 to win as we hand back to Adam Hassel. Notts Outlaws winning the toss, opting to bat first. In fact, it's just been changed on the board to 163 for 6. It did say 164 a moment ago. 163 for 6.
Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
McCann. So 3 left-arm spin bowlers: George Linder, the South African, Liam Patterson-White, and Joe Pocklington. Benny Howell, as we know, he mixes and matches, taking the pace off the ball, and 3 out-and-out quicks in Mohammad Amir, Benura Fernando, the new Sri Lankan, and Ollie Stone. But this is a powerful Surrey batting lineup, so it really is going to be 2 balls charging towards each other here. You fancy for a place in the last 4 at Edgbaston, traditionally one of the great days of English domestic cricket. It's all a little bit of a rush this year, Mark, isn't it?
Well, 2 things on that. Yes, it is, but it's closer than it was for a couple of years where you had to wait until, I don't know, beginning of September, when you couldn't remember who played for who, and so at least that's a bit quicker. But no sign of any of your sort of England players, unfortunately. What I would say in this power play, the key thing, and we saw it from Nottinghamshire, only the 34 runs, but only the 2 wickets, and I think that's the key thing from Surrey. Even if you don't get off to a flyer here, make sure you've got wickets intact, because I still think this is a surface where you could find yourself at the end of the power play 4 or 5 down.
And of course in 2020 here, I'm sure a lot of Surrey supporters won't know this and have no reason to know or remember this. The quarter-final here that Notts played in 2020 against Leicestershire finished all square, same number of runs, and they had a count back on which side scored the most runs in the initial power play. I'm not entirely sure if they're the regulations still in use. If they are, then Surrey are almost bound to be favourites, because Notts only scored 34 in the power play. Perhaps Adam back in the studio can just clarify that. Mohammad Amir is going to get us underway from the Stuart Broad end. He's going to be bowling to Jason Roy. Surrey then need 164 to win at round about 8 and over, just a whisker over 8 and over. The right-handed Roy, such a dangerous white ball hitter, faces the first delivery of the innings and pushes it back to Mohammad Amir. Jason Roy has a century on this ground for England in ODI cricket against Pakistan. Scored a lot of runs against Notts as well across the years.
I was about to say, it'll feel like international cricket for him again here, with Mohammad Amir charging in at him. But he's been in super form in the last couple of weeks, Jason Roy.
George Linder is up inside the ring at short third, and he's whirling his arms around. Come back on that in a second, as this one's hit up into the air and it won't reach mid-off. Very nearly did there. Was a little loose from Jason Roy. Trying to hit it over the top. Nearly found Joe Clark.
Again, it hasn't got to him. And this is this surface. He's through it so early. Yeah, Linda's going to open us up. It makes sense to me that, and he's bowling obviously from the right anchor's longest boundary over towards the covers.
It certainly doesn't hurt to mix and match, does it? A little bit of pace on from one end, pace off from the other. Here's Amir, third ball of the innings, and this is cut to deep backward point where Jack Haynes does the fielding. He'll be hoping that his knock wasn't in vain. 75 not out. Terrific innings from him.
The other thing I've been looking forward to is seeing what look Tom Moores is sporting this season. He's had some interesting haircuts over the years, hasn't he, Mr. Moores? Looks quite a normal colour of hair for Mr. Moores this year.
It's maybe even a little darker than normal. It's pretty black, actually, and a black beard. There's Laurie Evans on strike, and he's played this almost defensively and then had to kick it away from the ball dropping down near his feet. Kicked it into the offside. Big George Munsey comes in and collects it, sends it back round the ring.
He did have the blonde rinse for a while,
yes,
didn't he? Yes, yep. I remember that.
It's one big blow into the Bridgeford Road stand during his innings of 20 earlier on. Watts found it very tough going, particularly in the initial few overs. There's Mohammad Amir in once more and pushed into the offside by Evans, and there's no run.
Yeah, good stuff from Mohammad Amir. We saw Reece Topley bowl a wicket made in the first over of the Nottinghamshire innings. Just a single off this over so far from Mohammad Amir.
Now he's going to change the field. Liam Patterson-White at mid-wicket goes out to deep mid-wicket, and Jack Haynes from The deep point boundary comes up inside the ring. Can they restrict them to just a single at worst here? Amir bowls, and this is pushed to mid-off, and Clark does the fielding. Well done, skipper. Well done, bowler. Surrey won without loss at the end of the first, and even though that might sound like a pretty meagre over, it's much better than what Notts did around about 2 hours ago when they opened with Joe Clark falling in the first over of the match. No runs coming from a Reece Topley wicket maiden. Surrey are one without loss.
Yeah, and it will be George Linder. So left arm spin straight away to Roy and Evans. So Linder bowling from this Radcliffe Road end. As I say, with 3 spinners in your ranks, makes perfect sense this from a Nottinghamshire point of view. The trumpeter for the first time tonight, blowing his trumpet. And George Linder, he's got no breeze at the moment to work with. And Fernando is doing an extraordinary warming up at short third. Well, there we are. Was it the ABBA song?
Can you hear the drums?
But, well, he certainly could there with what he was doing at short third. So here's the first delivery from George Linder, and it's a flat delivery which is just pushed politely straight back up the pitch by Jason Roy.
It's almost like he was dancing on hot coals with bare feet, wasn't it?
It was excellent. Now he's changing the field straight away. He wants Muncie to come straighter at mid-wicket, and he's moved his deep mid-wicket out to deep backward square. George Linder walks to the crease, then around the wicket he goes, and Roy is reverse sweeping, and it's looped off his pad, and Fernando has to come in from short third. You see, this is not going to be easy, and there is no run. All sorts of shouting going on out there in the middle. Jason Roy, 1 to his name, sorry, 1 without loss in this second over, their target 164. As Linder is into Roy, and Roy backs away. We'll get runs here because he's punched that through extra cover, and that will run away for 4. So it was a bit too flat that from George Linder. He has got the short extra in there, but a bit like Haynes, he kept his shape there, Jason Roy, and waited, and then got it to the right of Joe Clark and away to the boundary to the theme tune from Rocky, which I enjoyed the other night when they played it at the Kia Oval with lots of kids running up the steps like Rocky when they heard it. As George Linder is in, gives this a bit more air. It's turned by Jason Roy into the leg side. Muncie goes back to do the fielding, and they'll pick up a single. It's not the best throw to Tom Moores from Muncie.
Scuffing the ball up.
Yes, well, I'm not sure about that. I just think he got it horribly wrong. And it'll just be a single to Jason Roy. So he's on to 6, and Laurie Evans comes on to strike to Linder for the first time. So Roy and Evans are out there again. Linder, interestingly for Laurie Evans, his deep backward square has gone to deep mid-wicket. As Linder is into Evans, and Evans flicks this, and Muncie does well. Tumbles away to his left. Again, it's not the greatest of throws, but he does the job. And Laurie Evans stays on naught.
He's actually saved a few runs there on what I thought was going to happen when I saw the direction it was going.
Got there eventually.
He did.
And he did well, George Muncie.
It was probably a single, but they declined to go for it.
Final ball of the second over. Linder is around the wicket to Evans, and this is pushed off the back foot by Evans. Linder to Evans. Wasn't she in Dynasty? As they'll pick
Dallas,
up a single, and Dallas as well.
Is it Sue Ellen?
Yes, that's right. And
no, hang on. No,
end of the over, 2 gone, 7 without loss.
Before somebody gets in touch, was it not Linda Gray? I don't know.
There was the Linda Evans, I'm sure, was in Dynasty. Sorry, it's this whole Roy Evans that I saw the other day. I'm just seeing whether you can use it in soap operas now.
Our areas of expertise are very limited, Mark, or certainly mine is. Now here's Benora Fernando, who starting to get to know a little bit. Chatted to him a couple of times. He's played 2 matches for Notts. Wouldn't necessarily say he's the most gifted fielder as well, so watch for the ball spinning towards him out in the deep. And he did have a little bit of a wobble on Sunday afternoon at Headingley, where he overstepped twice and bowled 2 behind the batter's legs as well for leg side wide. He just cannot bowl no balls in this form. He comes in and bowls, and this is leave it away out onto the leg side. Should be fielded, and is. There's just a single away there on our left, front of the Fox Road stand.
Yeah, well, how much Evans and Roy know about Mr. Fernando, I'm not sure, but he's tall. Replacing Mohamed Amir, of course, who's a bit shorter and skiddier.
8 without loss. We're into the 3rd over. Jason Roy on strike. A little drop and run. There's got to be a chance to shy at the stumps from Howells. And he's actually thrown it to the end that Jason Roy was running to, and he struck Jason Roy. And I think the batter might be a little pleased about that. I think he probably got home in truth, but if you can get your body between the thrower and the stumps, you're never going to be run out, are you?
It bounced perfectly into Benny Howell's right hand, coming round from that cover point position.
I have an update, but I've got a comment to make on the update. Here's Benura Fernando to bowl to Evans. It's it through the offside for 4. That's a lovely shot from Laurie Evans. Just stroked it elegantly through the covers for 4. He moves to 6. Surrey 13 without loss. Adam in the studio has been doing a little bit of digging and delving and says, this is from the ECB website, Dave, dated February. If a knockout T20 match ends in a tie, a super over will decide the winner. If still tied, a countback of runs scored from each ball of the super over will determine the winner. All I would say on that is, I'm pretty sure that same website and the rules for this competition says it's 2 points for a win and 1 for a rained off game, which is, as we know, wrong as Fernando bowls to Evans. 13 without loss.
One thing I can tell you is I can guarantee none of the players know.
No.
Absolutely no idea.
We'll I'm sure have the information fed by the...
a super over. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Yeah. If it's anything like the last time you and I sat together for a super over, it'll be utter chaos.
Absolutely. Where are we? 2 balls left in the 3rd over. 13 without loss. I must just silent my phone, even though it is relevant information, I'm sure, coming in our direction. This is hit back, and it's oh, crikey. Now, this has been hit back at Fernando. He's stuck out his left hand to try and take a caught and bowl. First and foremost, he seems to be in some distress. The ball dropped near the stumps, and as Notts were coming in to try and execute a run out there, as they hesitated, the ball then struck, I think it was Jason Roy, and they went through for a single. Now Fernando's in some distress, and they just have all having a chat out there whether the run should count, whether it shouldn't count, who's apologising to who, and whether Fernando can carry on. 14 without loss.
Well, Clark and Roy are patting each other on the bottom, so that's always a good sign, but not for Fernando. That really hurt him. And it was struck firmly back. He did very well to get a hand on it, actually.
It's his left hand as well. Of course, he does bowl with his left hand. Phil Tranter, the Notts physios out there, just attending to him. Call him Rambo, as I said earlier. Where's the headband? He's got some floppy dark hair that wobbles about like a jelly when he's running in the outfield. Just going to see this again on the monitors in here. It was struck fearfully hard by Evans. It's hit him sort of the left fingers, and then it dropped down, and Notts were trying to see if they could perhaps execute a run out as they were pinching a single, and the ball struck one of the batters. And sometimes you get umpires yelling dead ball, don't you, in those scenarios, and sometimes, like in this, I think the run has been allowed to go ahead. And I think that's probably right.
That's right. I think what Jason Roy was doing was waiting to see whether Laurie Evans was taking a single, and then the ball pitched and spun and hit him. So I think that's the right decision, but I am slightly concerned for Fernando here.
Yeah. Notts do have a wealth of options in the terms of the three spinners, Pocklington, Linder and Patterson-White, a fourth bowler with pace off in Benny Howells, and three quicks in Fernando, Ollie Stone and Mohammed Amir. But even so, you wouldn't want to...
Yeah, I'm just thinking as well, if Notts get through this and get to finals day and he has to come off...
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
It's a good shout as well.
You know, and this is taking quite a while to get him... Yeah, and oh gosh, I think he's just pressed that hand again and Fernando's head's gone straight back. He's felt that. He really has. Well, he's going to carry on, I think. There's that famous photo of Graham Gooch. I often mention that, with Ezra Mosley having struck him on the hand in a test match, and the physio pressed it and went, "Does it hurt?" There, it was broken in 3 places. And there's just Gooch screaming. But Fernando's going to give this a go. Brave from him, because that really was smash back at him.
I'm a little concerned here that his focus now might be on his fingers and not his feet. Do particularly well, I think, to land this one exactly where he should. There's only one ball left in the over.
I'll tell you what, the umpires have been busy with their notebooks today, haven't they?
Indeed, yeah.
One short and all sorts of things they've had to put in their notebooks.
Just hope a minute or two has been added on for this. I would imagine it will be.
Yes, they will. They'd add that in, definitely.
14 without loss then, Surrey. Roy and Evans both on 7. There is Fernando then to conclude an over. Saw him just struck a moment ago. He's in and bowls now and hit back to him, and he didn't stick his left arm out, and they're going to take a single. Cracky me, 15 without loss. He didn't fancy. Didn't fancy that again.
Sensible, very sensible. Jason Roy's just given him a pat there, but that was very sensible from Fernando. Wise decision not to put a hand anywhere near that.
He's walking in this direction now. Is he taking a fielding position, or is he walking off?
Doesn't look right to me. Yeah, he's holding that left arm. He's still. I don't think he's staying on.
No, I don't.
It's not the walk of a man who's staying on the field, or is he? But he's really feeling that left hand of his. Does he often field out? Sort of. Well, he's going off towards Cow Corner here. Has he forgotten which end?
No, he's going off. He's going off the field, I'm sure. So 4-4, 5-4. Notts have got a sub on, so we need to sort of sort. It's Freddie McCann who's on at mid-off.
Yeah,
it's a good
hope
spot.
Fernando's all right. It's Ollie Stone into the attack to bowl the 4th over, coming into Jason Roy, who might enjoy a bit of extra pace. Turns this one into the leg side. Will pick up a couple out there towards deep backward square. Yes, I thought for a second there Mr. Fernando had forgotten which end he was at and was going down towards third man, but actually he's making his way off. And Jack Haynes doing the fielding out there at deep backward square. So 2 more to Jason Roy. 17 without loss. Surrey, their target 164. We're in the 4th over of their run chase. It's certainly been eventful so far. Ollie Stone's in. Roy just drops this one to cover point. Quick singles taken. Good running. And Evans comes on to strike on 7. It was another one that bounced very nicely into the right hand of Benny Howe, but they went immediately, both Roy and Evans.
Yeah. Stone 10 wickets in this season's competition. They've been expensive. They've gone at 31 apiece, and his economy rate's about 10 as well. But just occasionally he's sent stumps cartwheeling out the ground, and he's ended 1 or 2 very important partnerships.
He's in here to Evans. Evans just opens the face, nicely played. Guides it past short third. That's going to run away for 4. It's not really an Ollie Stone surface, this. He's going to have to mix this up, I think. If he just tries to bowl quick on this, I'm not sure that's going to work.
No.
Because Evans there's had lots of time to wait for that and then just guide it down towards the third man boundary rope for 4. So Ollie Stone's going to have to mix his pace up here.
Just on the other matches, Yorkshire made 161 for 9 at Headingley. Somerset 26 for 3 after 5.
The holders. As in over the wicket goes Stone to Evans, up on his toes, just nudges this into the leg side. Takes the single. More to the total, 1 more to Laurie Evans. He's on to 12, Surrey move on to 23 without loss.
At Wantage Road, Gloucestershire made 152. They were all out the final ball of the 20 overs. You'd imagine Chris Lynn and Vasconcelos and Willie and Co would fancy chasing down 153. Hampshire 211 for 3, Essex 50 for 3 in the 7th.
Waits again does Jason Roy as Stone is into him, and Roy, oh, that bounced on him. That was nicely bowled by Stone. He was going to try and punch that through the offside, but it was a bit fuller of length, that one, and it just hopped a touch at Jason Roy, beat the edge, taken by Moores away to his left-hand side.
Yeah, Joe Clark's going to have to be adaptable now, isn't he? Because he'll have banked on Fernando bowling 2 in the power play, I'm sure.
He might come back, but that finger didn't look good.
No.
It really did.
He looked in pain, didn't he?
Well, he did, and you know, I didn't blame him at all for getting his hand out the way of the Jason Roy shot. Stone's into Roy, drives straight back past Stone, who stuck out a right hand, but that's going to run away down below us for 4. And I did say when Stone came into the attack, Roy might enjoy a bit of extra pace here. That's exactly what's happened in that over from Ollie Stone. So, end of the 4th, and Surrey 27 with Outlaws.
Yeah, Surrey were 4 runs behind where Notts were at the end of the 3rd, but of course that 4th over was the 2nd wicket maiden that we saw in those initial 4 overs. So right now Surrey are not only 8 runs better off, but 2 wickets as well. Going to be return to spin. George Linder to bowl the 5th over. Bowled the 2nd over of the innings, went for just 6 runs.
I think it's been a pretty sensible start here from Roy and Evans. As I said, in the power play, the key thing for me at the moment is wickets in the hutch. That's the key thing.
They actually, seemed to set their stall out early on to put a high price on the wickets. Played more defensive shots in the first 2 overs than I was expecting to see. Just trying to play themselves into a decent innings. Here's George Linder then round the wicket from the Stuart Broad end, and this is cut through the offside for 4. Clark had brought the field up onto the discs on the offside, and it was Evans just threading a gap through that packed offside and away for 4. Good start to the over for Surrey.
A little too short, that one from George Linder. Now he's bowling with the short offside boundary on that Stuart Broad end.
31 without loss. Both sides coming into this game off the back of a defeat on Sunday. This is hit out to... Oh, now then it's taken low down by fielder out there. Is that Patterson White? We'll just check. No, it's Joe Pocklington, I beg your pardon.
He's immediately signalled that it was on the half volley.
Yeah, that's good from Joe Pocklington. Good bit of fielding. He threw himself forward, and ball, ground and fingers were sort of at the same place at the same time, and you can often do a little bit of finger damage to those as well, but managed to scoop it up, throw it in, and then, as Mark Church said quite rightly, indicated that it hadn't carried on the full. 32 without loss. BBC Radio Nottingham, Wednesday night at the cricket. 4 more runs here to the visitors, lifted very nicely indeed by Jason Roy over the offside for 4.
That's the problem for Linder. He's got that short offside boundary. Now he hasn't tried to hit that too hard, but he knows he can go over the top of the cover ring and there's nobody out there, so he's really just chipped that. Good bit of batting from Jason Roy, but this is the problem for Linder.
Lots have gone in here with a clear game plan, put runs on the board and then try and defend it with their spinners. Linder bowling pushed it back to Linder, who throws himself down to the ground to his left and makes the stop. So the last 4 balls have been 4.4.
Are England 3 up already, Dave Bracegirdle?
Don't think.
Oh no, we haven't
don't think we're there
yet.
No. 36 without loss. Here comes George Linder. Paul Pollard is the umpire at the far end. Nicely pushed with control by Jason Roy down the ground. Ollie Stone was pushed out deep on the rope in front of the Batman board at wideish long off.
Very sensible this from Roy and Evans so far.
So if the countback does end up being most runs in the power play, and Surrey would win it in that instance, highly unlikely. I would imagine that we'll end up in a tie. George Linder, final ball of the over, and again pushed into the offside. So 9 from it, 2 boundaries, Surrey 37 without loss. They're 12 runs better off than where Notts were at the same stage, and again 2 wickets. Notts without Benora Fernando at the moment. He's off the field with a finger injury, and Freddie McCann on as a substitute fielder.
Yep, and drinks and changes of gloves being brought on for Laurie Evans and Jason Roy. Warm old day today. Bruce Springsteen singing away to his heart's content at 6:30 on a Wednesday evening in Nottingham. So Mohammed Amir comes into the attack. Down below us from this, the Radcliffe Road end of the ground. Bowled our first over of the run chase from the Stuart Broad end. Only went for a single. So it's going to be Jason Roy, the man on strike. Left arm around the wicket, short, slower ball into the pitch. Pulled by Roy in front of square. They will get a couple here. Sweeper on the mid-wicket boundary rope comes round to do the fielding. Liam Patterson-White, I think that was, doing the fielding down there to our right. We'll see him in the attack at some point. 39 without loss, Surrey.
Yeah, there's him and Ollie Stone, the two that like to have these white elastic sleeves, do they call them?
Ah, skins. Very sensible. Don't want to graze your elbows. As around the wicket goes Amir. Roy's trying to cut this, doesn't time it at all. Just potters out towards Benny Howe. In the covers, and there's no run.
Just a little roll of the fingers, I think, from Amir. Has an English passport now, married an English lady 10 years ago, and his English citizenship and passport duly arrived earlier on this year.
Comes in once again, left arm around the wicket to Roy. Another slow, short delivery, which Jason Roy has to wait and wait and wait for, and then off the front foot tugs it out to Jack Haynes at deep backward square. Gets a single. And more to the total. Roy's on to 23 here. Surrey 40 without loss, so solid start from these two. Exactly what Surrey would have been looking for. It's not spectacular, but it's solid. In the final over of the power play, Amir left arm around the wicket to Laurie Evans, pulling this to short fine. Quick singles taken. One more to the total. Evans moves on to 18. Surrey move on to 41 without loss.
Certainly take 2 dots or 2 singles here, Notts. Just get out of the power play and be able to push the fielders out into the deep. 5 of them at any case.
Shines the ball up once again as Mohammed Amir. Jason Roy 23 off 19 balls as Amir around the wicket to Roy, goes full of length, driven down the ground by Roy, and Ollie Stone does really well. Otherwise that would have been away for 4, I think. Ollie Stone sprinted round to his left and got a hand to it with the dive. That's why he's wearing his skins. Otherwise he would have had a grazed elbow.
Really good work from Stone. He saved 3 runs there.
Just the single for Roy. On to 24 he goes. Sorry, move on to 42 without loss. Final ball of the power play. Mohammed Amir around the wicket to Laurie Evans, and this is pulled off his hip by Evans for 4. Waited for it, and then pulled it away for 4 runs. So that's a really good power play for Surrey. They haven't lost a wicket. It's been very experienced batting by Jason Roy and Laurie Evans, and Surrey are 46 without loss. 164 is their target.
Yeah, power-packed Surrey line-up. Josh Philippe, the Australian. Dan Lawrence been in fine form this year. I think many feel he's a little unlucky not to be called into the England Test side for those matches against New Zealand. Ollie Pope, Ollie Sykes, dangerous hitter, brought into the side. That's all in the future. They can't get to the middle unless Notts can get a wicket or 2. And Ollie Stone, who's already bowled 1 over that went for 12, going to have a second over from the pavilion end.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of work for Surrey to do, but it's 118 needed off 16 overs.
It's just how much of a squeeze I think Liam Patterson-White and Benny Howells can manage to put on the Surrey run rate when they come into the attack. Here's Stone. Bowls hit into the offside, through the offside. That'll be 4 more. Great start to the over for Surrey. Jason Roy driving Ollie Stone along the ground. Keep putting an S on the end of Benny Howell's name because, of course, of our teammate Kevin.
Yep. He's got a lot of varieties as well. Kevin Howells.
Yes, indeed.
It's a good shot from Jason Roy. Gave himself a bit of room and then on the up, threaded it between two fielders.
50 on the board. This player added 50 from just 37 deliveries. Not wicketless at the moment. Had a lot of quarter-final heartbreak over the years here. This Stone in again, bowls, and Jason Roy just through with the shot. It was a shortish delivery from Stone, always rising. Jason Roy trying to pull it, went through to Tom Moores. 1 or 2 out there. Felt they heard a little bit of something, but nothing more than that.
I think Jason Roy almost bashed himself on the head there after that shot.
Yes, just had to give his helmet a bit of a wobble, didn't he? Mohammed Amir, who was at long leg, being brought up inside the circle. Here comes Stone once more to bowl to Jason Roy. Chops it into the offside. No chance of a run there. Joe Clark, they're not skipper.
It's a good response from Ollie Stone after being hit for a boundary first ball of the over. Just changed his length a touch here, as Ollie Stone. As I say, this is not an ideal surface for Ollie Stone, but it'll be the right length and changes of pace, I think.
Howell and Linda down the ground at wideish mid-off and wideish mid-on. It's hit to Benny Howell for a single, 51 without loss.
Slower ball from Ollie Stone. As I say, the 7,000 varieties of Benny Howell could be quite tricky on this, I think.
Crowd, I'm sure, itching to get involved, but at the moment it's one of those where you sort of sat on your hands or biting your fingers, or your fingernails rather. Don't want to be biting your fingers. Evans has 22, made from only 16 deliveries, not seeing as much of the strike as his partner. This is nice and full, and he's dug it out. Nicely played by Laurie Evans. Down the ground to George Linder for a single.
Yeah, this has been very good from Stone. After that first ball, he's just gone for a couple of runs. Can he get out of this over without a boundary?
Right the way across the BBC from 8 o'clock. Remember, England versus Argentina in the football. That undoubtedly will have had an effect on the attendance here, as well, of course, as people still being at work. As Stone in bowls, pulled away onto the leg side out to Freddie McCann. There'll only be a single. Back in 2010, it was a Sunday. Notts moved a T20 group match as early as 11 o'clock in the morning against Warwickshire to let people get home to watch the England-Germany World Cup quarter-final, was it? The one where Lampard shot at the crossbar and came down and whatever. Yeah. 11 o'clock.
That was a goal.
Yeah. 53 without loss.
England robbed. Robbed. So, Liam Patterson-White is into the attack from the Radcliffe Road end of the ground.
Got the sunnies on mark.
Quite right too, because it is a lovely evening. It really is a beautiful, beautiful evening here in Nottingham. So 13 overs to go, 111 more needed by Surrey. Still got 10 wickets in the can. And Jason Roy, the man on strike, on 30. Liam Patterson-White, his first delivery around the wicket to Roy, and Roy will just punch him down the ground towards long off. Strolls a single. Jason Roy moves on to 31. Surrey moving on to 54 without loss. Laurie Evans in his rib boots. Comes back onto strike. He's got 3 back on that leg side rope. There's Patterson-White. He's into Laurie Evans. Evans is forward. Nudges this into the leg side. They're going to want 2. Talked about this at half time. They are getting back for 2 as the throw comes in. It's good running from Laurie Evans and Jason Roy. Very sensible cricket. Nudged it into the leg side. Didn't try and hit that hard, Laurie Evans. And got back for the second run. Evans on to 56. Surrey. Evans on to 25, apologies. Surrey on to 56. He'd have batted well if he was on 56 and Surrey at 56 without loss, Laurie Evans. Settles over his bat once again as Patterson White, left arm around the wicket to Evans. He'll get a single. Just pushes this one off the back foot out towards the sweeper. On the cover boundary rope. One more to Laurie Evans. Sensible cricket this from Surrey. Evans on to 26. Roy comes back onto strike on 31. 57 without loss. Another 107 required as Patterson White's in. Reverse sweep from Roy is nicely played. That's going to run away for 4. Jason Roy moves on to 35. Excellent batting from Jason Roy. And Surrey move on to 61 without loss.
At Headingley in the match between Yorkshire and Somerset, Yorkshire made 161 for 9. Somerset now 38 for 4. They've lost Banton, Smead and both Roos.
Round the wicket again goes Patterson White. Reverse sweeping again is Roy. This could be back-to-back boundaries. This will be back-to-back boundaries. So very good from Jason Roy. Bit flatter, bit quicker from Patterson White. And Roy reverse sweeping. So back-to-back boundaries. Roy's on to 39. Surrey move on to 65 without loss.
Yeah, this is very much not what Notts were looking for. Liam Patterson White generally is very miserly. Doesn't give many runs away at all.
Well, that target now, they're down to double figures.
Yep.
Surrey, 99 more needed. Liam Patterson White in again. Roy backs away, cuts up and over the top of short extra and away for 4 more. So, Liam Patterson White's first over expensive. 8 gone. 16 off that over.
Yep.
And Surrey, suddenly, after 8, are 69 without loss.
What was really good there with that final one, he'd played 2 reverse sweeps for 4, so Notts had moved Joe Pocklington round just to try and cover that area, and then Jason Roy hit the final ball of the over to exactly where Pocklington had been moved from. It's going to be Benny Howell into the attack for the first time. Came on Sunday and dismissed Adam Lyth and Joe Root straight away in his first over. Need to do something similar here. Howell into the far end, and this is drilled on the bounce to Joe Clark in the covers, and there's no run.
Yeah, this will be the interesting one. Benny Howell. Sometimes he bowls deliveries that he never thinks are actually going to even get to the batter.
37 years of age now. What's had Stephen Mullaney bowled something similar for many years, taking pace off. Now this is dropped by Evans onto the leg side, and I think they can run for 2 here, and they can, although Pocklington's throw very, very close. It's asking a lot of anybody to hit the stumps with a direct hit from 40 yards or so, but Pocklington not too far away. But 2 taken, 71 without loss, and Surrey need 93 from 70 to win this and go through to Saturday's finals day.
It's a good bit of batting again from Laurie Evans. Great pickup from Pocklington, but I think Jason Roy would have been home with the dive.
Very much in control of this run chase at the moment, the visitors. Howell bowls, cut to backward point, no chance of a run there. Straight to Patterson White.
He is an extraordinary bowler, Benny Howell. As I say, he's got all sorts of different deliveries. He hides the ball as he runs in.
Always wears the lime green wristband on his left wrist. Comes in from the pavilion end, past umpire Pollard and bowls, and this is just played carefully down the ground for a single by Laurie Evans. For another single. 72 without loss.
So far, it's been the perfect start for Surrey. All about experience, this, from Messrs Roy and Evans.
Notts made 163 for 6. Jack Haynes 75 not out. The standout performance. Howell bowls, and once again Jason Roy just content just to nudge it down the ground for a single. Howell has got his 2 straight out on the fence, so just pushing singles very easy way at the moment, just to pick up 6 and over and just keep the board churning over. Always time just to accelerate a little later on. And again, he's going to get a single down the ground to Ollie Stone. I think he was trying to pull that to mid-wicket, but he'll take the single instead to long on. Single ends the over. 9 gone, 74 without loss, and Surrey in a really good position. They're 21 runs better off than where Notts were at the same stage.
Yeah, but Notts will know they've all played enough T20 that still on a pitch like this, anything could happen, and Evans and Roy will know that as well. They will want to do the bulk of the work here. Laurie Evans and Jason Roy. They won't want to leave it to anybody else to have to come out and take responsibility for all of this. So Patterson White's going to continue, and he's going to bowl our 10th over. 74 without loss as Patterson White is in, and Evans looks to drive expansively, but it just goes straight down the ground towards long off.
Somerset have lost another wicket. They're 43 for 5, chasing 162. So Yorkshire looking favourites to win that quarter-final. Hampshire got well over 200. Essex are already 5 down for 90. So Hampshire also looking as if they're in with a really good chance.
Patterson White's in. Reverse sweeping again is Roy, but they have got cover out there now. That's Pocklington who comes out to do the fielding. So one more to Jason Roy. He moves on to 45.
And the other quarter-final at Northampton, it started half an hour after the others. Gloucestershire 152 all out. Northampton 28 without loss in the 4th.
Evans, forward he goes, takes this one from Patterson White off the stumps. That's what all the oohs and ahs were about. One more to Laurie Evans, he's on to 32.
Of course, in recent years, it's obviously been a split north and south, hasn't it? And the south have dominated.
Around the wicket again goes Patterson White. Down the pitch comes Jason Roy, just a single. Tucks it away out towards Haynes at deep mid-wicket. One more to the total. One more to Jason Roy. He's on to 46. Well, if Somerset do get knocked out, there will be a new name on the trophy this summer, because of course they won it last year. Patterson White is in, and Evans is forward. Just turns it down the ground towards long on.
I think
walk another single.
Sorry, Mark. I think I'm right in saying that Yorkshire have never won it, have they? That's who is potentially going to knock them out. Derbyshire, Durham have never won it. Glamorgan.
Well, they might get an opportunity this year. Yorkshire. Here goes Jason Roy off the back foot and then slots it over long on for 6, and that's Jason Roy's 50. What a lovely way to bring up his 50. He's 52 not out of 33 deliveries, and Surrey at the halfway point in control of this. 85 without loss they are, with their target 164, 7 fours and 1 6 in that 52 from Jason Roy.
Yeah, and he didn't try to knock that into the city centre, did he? He made sure that he was going to clear the ropes for 6, which is all you have to do. You can lose your shape and all sorts of things can go wrong if you just try and hit it too hard. Just helped it nice and straight, just over the ropes. Lovely shot.
Yep, great shot from Jason Roy.
Lovely controlled hitting. Certainly picked the right club out of his bag there for that one. Howell's first over went for 5. He gets another one to bowl to Evans, who's on 33. Not seen as much of the strike, but he's going to add to that with at least a couple here. Jack Haynes scampering around in front of the William Clark stand to pick it up, and then gets the ball in the air quickly. He was never going to reach Tom Moores, but he got the ball in the air quickly, and that deterred them from coming back for a 3rd. Just joining us on BBC Radio Nottingham, it's cricket, T20 Blast quarter-final cricket from Trent Bridge. We started early, so you can all either shy away from watching or listening to the football, or indeed indulge in it if that's what you want, as this is cut away into the offside for another single. 88 without loss. I think most people are going to have a passing interest in the game this evening.
I think even if you didn't have an interest in it, you couldn't have failed to hear about it.
No.
So I think most people will be keeping a little eye on what's happening. I
think my good lady did say how good the soaps are on at last this evening, so I'm not sure it would be. We're on back at home as Howell bowls, and this is chopped into the offside, and there's no run. Joe Clark, the Notts Outlaws skipper who won the toss, chose to bat first on a used wicket, does the fielding.
What's going to be more dramatic, EastEnders or the semi-final?
I think it's It's the ITV ones. She likes her.
Oh, what, Emmerdale?
Yeah, she likes to get a bit of fresh
air.
air.
Everyday story of country folk, or was that the Archers?
88 without loss. Mistimed by Jason Roy. Again, signs there that despite him having a half century, he couldn't quite pick that one, but gets 2 runs nonetheless. 90 without loss. Again, a good pick up from Pocklington in the deep, but very hard to protect or defend a 2 if they both set off with intent.
Yeah, good running again, wasn't it?
The amount of runs required now is coming down at an alarming rate. Just 74 now required, not still yet to take a wicket. And that's going to be 4 more. This is hit very, very firmly indeed by Jason Roy out towards the Larwood and Vose. Along the ground, just a fraction short from Benny Howell. It sat up and was pulled away. Jason Roy feeding on that one.
Well, this is an outstanding opening partnership, and this is all about experience and great skill from these two. Not an easy surface, this, and they have done this brilliantly so far.
94 without loss. 1 ball left in this over, and he's tried to, I think, find the same spot, but instead he's hit it straight to Ollie Stone. Down the ground for a single. Jason Roy will keep strike. 95 without loss. That victory target of 164 is now only 69 runs away.
Well, Jason Roy's gone past 400 T20 runs in the competition this season during this innings, and well, at the moment they're doing this very nicely. Surrey 95 without loss, 10 off that over, and we're going to get young Mr. Pocklington into the attack from the Radcliffe Road end.
Time for a hero. Scored 19 runs, 20 runs earlier on.
So Pocklington, another left arm spinner, getting ready to come around the wicket to Jason Roy on 59. Roy gets a full toss first up and just works it down the ground for a single. This is the 12th over. The old Duckworth-Lewis par is always a good indicator, isn't it? And Surrey would need to be on 83 at the end of this over. So they're way ahead of where they would need to be. Well, not way ahead, but they're 13 runs ahead of where they need to be. What will be worrying Joe Clark is nothing in the wickets column.
No.
As Pocklington's in, and Laurie Evans picks him up on the full. Pocklington's giving it some air, just yet to use the facilities kindly provided by the ground staff. 1 more to the total for Laurie Evans. He's on to 37, 97 without loss. Jason Roy settles over his bat once more on 60. Pocklington's into him, that's better, and Roy skies this high in the air. It's going to land in between 2 fielders, a little like when Pocklington was batting. He did that a couple of times, but Jason Roy there was trying to go over the top of the covers off the back foot, toe end of his bat, but he gets away with it, moves on to 61.
Some days they go for you and some days they don't.
Yeah. As Pocklington's in to Evans, nicely bowled, but just turned into the leg side by Evans. They're tearing the first, they're coming back for the second. Great running again from Jason Roy and Laurie Evans. Really good running and very sensibly played. And the 100 up for Surrey, 100 without loss, so 100 for the first wicket. 61 of them belong to Jason Roy, 39 to Laurie Evans. And the other thing any mathematicians out there will tell you, there's been no extras. Everything's come off the bat. So again, it's been all off the bat of these two. Pocklington is in once again. Evans just plays him back down the pitch firmly. Pocklington dives to his right to do the fielding. But yeah, outstanding opening partnership. Really has been. 64 more needed by Surrey as Pocklington's in. Evans backs away and then punches down the ground towards long off. And what these two will be saying to each other is, don't let anybody else come out here. We're in now. And these two will want to get the job done together. And so still say anybody who has to start their innings needs a bit of time to get going on here. End of the over, 12 gone, 8 left. Surrey needs 63 more. They're 101 without loss.
Yeah, just finding a little bit of form at a very, very opportune time. Quarter-final. If they can go on and get over the line here with something to spare, there'll be cock-a-hoop going into finals day on Saturday at Edgbaston. George Linder coming back into the attack. 2 overs, none for 16 for George Linder earlier. Slow left arm spinner. This is the second meeting of the season between these two sides. They played out a drawn county championship match here. Focus will switch to the Oval in the next few weeks. Notts go there for a Metrobank 50 over one-day match, and then the return county championship game. This is cut into the offside and a wicket, and George Linder has got a wicket, and Laurie Evans has gone for 40. Backed away to give himself a little bit of room against the South African spinner and cut it straight into the hands of cover, and Notts get the breakthrough. 101 runs on the board at the start of the 13th. Liam Patterson-White with a good pair of hands taking the catch, and there is still time for a little bit of jeopardy in this, but Notts have really, if they are to get back into this, they've really got to use that as a springboard to go on and take 3 or 4 more wickets.
Very interesting that Dan Lawrence comes out as 3. Josh Philippi normally comes out at 3, but it's Dan Lawrence. But Laurie Evans there, very good innings of 40. He's got Surrey off to an excellent start, 101 for the first wicket. So Dan Lawrence makes his way out to the middle to join Jason Roy. But interesting, Lawrence is a very good player of spin, of course. The chat between Jason Roy and Dan Lawrence. Drinks run out by Adam Thomas and Matt Fisher. But they have a wicket. A bit of hope for Notts. I have seen games like this before where the side batting have looked in absolute control, and then they end up not being all out, but actually not getting to the total. So that could be a big wicket, but Lawrence is a very good player of spin bowling.
Very good player, full stop.
And he's in pretty good nick.
First ball of the over then, bringing a wicket. Here's George Linder then to bowl to Dan Lawrence. Pushes it along the ground to Liam Patterson-White. Mentioned earlier, has played in a T20 Blast quarter-final here in the past, Dan Lawrence. 10 years ago for Essex. Finished on the losing side on that evening. Batted at 8. Comes in at 3 here. Faces George Linder and just manipulates this into a little space square of the wicket on the offside, close to where umpire Steve O'Shaughnessy is standing, so he's got the sun behind him.
What that wicket does do is gets the crowd back into it. Just Fernando bowling down below us into the mid. So they're trying to get him back out there.
Yeah, we just saw on the monitors there a shot of Binura Fernando. We'll come back to it in a moment. Here's George Linder to bowl to Jason Roy, who's on 61. Pushes it again into the offside. And there's no run. Joe Clark back in there. Binura Fernando, the 3rd over of the innings. He had a ball leathered back at him. Stuck out his left hand to try and catch it and didn't. And caused him certainly some pain, if not too much damage, but he had to go off the field, and we've not seen him since. This is a reverse sweep for a single, and of course, should Notts go on to lose this, then that will be the end of Binura Fernando's current term with Notts. Just his 3rd match. He came in when, quite short notice, Muhammad Ali was called up by Pakistan to go on their tour of West Indies. Needed somebody that was available, and the big Sri Lankan answered the call. Here's Linder to bowl to Lawrence, and again pushes it into the offside. So good stuff this from George Linder. Good over, 103 for 1 after 13. Just 2 runs from that over and a wicket. Surrey still miles ahead, but Notts just getting a little bit of encouragement in that over. I was just watching Freddie McCann and just wondering to see if he was being called off the field. He's not. He's been just sent to field down here on the boundary rope, down below us at long on the long on fence, behind which, just in front of the William Clark, Binura Fernando's just bowled a few balls to Phil Tranter, the physio there.
I quite like that. It reminds me a bit of in baseball with the bullpen. As here is Liam Patterson-White starting the 14th over. It'll be a single for Jason Roy, playing that one down the ground for a single.
I've played a bit of club cricket where it's been the regulations. You shall not practice on the ground once the match has started. But I think he was just really seeing if he was going to feel it, feeling in his left hand.
Of course, Jofra Archer before that, very famous super over. We knew it was going to be him because he was down there, wasn't he, with Paul Collingwood. As Patterson-White's into Dan Lawrence, single here for Lawrence, just backs away and then plays it out towards the sweeper on the cover point boundary. They'll pick up one more. 59 more needed by Surrey, 105 for one.
They can't be doing anything wrong, or I will guarantee Steve O'Shaughnessy and Paul Pollard, if any of the umpires on the circuit, they'd be two that would point it out.
Well, their notebooks are full up now after today's game, as Patterson-White is into Jason Roy, and Roy drives down the ground towards long off, walks a single. Roy moves on to 64.
Roy's just got to carry on doing what he's been doing and not, he's vastly experienced. I'm sure he will do. But
106 for one. Moores is just signalling to the long off just to go round to their left to touch here for Dan Lawrence, who's down the pitch and then turns the wrists on this. Rolls down to McCann at long on. They'll pick up a single. One more to Lawrence. He's on to 3.
Of course, I mentioned that Notts are coming to the Oval twice. I'm coming before then.
Yeah, I'll see you again on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
The Blaze playing there.
Yes. Oh, Jason Roy slaps one straight through the hands of Patterson-White for 4. Stuck both hands up, but it was hit firmly by Jason Roy. It's run away down below us for 4. Roy moves on to 68. It's all the ones on the scoreboard. Surrey 111 for 1, another 53 required by Surrey.
It all just seems a little congested, doesn't it? Women's finals down Friday, men's on Saturday.
Goodness me. Patterson-White is in, and Roy will get a single. Very sensibly played this by Jason Roy. Top quality innings this from Jason Roy. All the experience coming out here. He's on to 69. 14 gone, so 6 left for a place in finals day for Surrey. And at the moment they're in control of this run, Jason. It's not been an easy one, but they've done it very well so far. And with 6 overs remaining, Surrey need another 52 for victory.
Essex 109 for 7, still need more than 100 to beat Hampshire. They've only got 4 overs left, so Hampshire very close to being nailed on as the first of the 4 sides to go through, and we're led to believe from our studios that the draw has been done whilst this has been playing, and Hampshire will face the winners of this game. At the moment looking like
Did they have a bag of balls?
Well, I'm not entirely sure.
If they did do it, it was very quiet.
So here's George Linder to bowl his final over, a single taken by Jason Roy. So Hampshire well on top against Essex. Yorkshire similarly, because Somerset are now 66 for 7. They need 96 from 7 overs, and they've only got 3 wickets left. So Hampshire, Yorkshire looking as if they're going to go through. Gloucestershire 152 all out. Northants 57 without loss. So Northants on top in that one. Surrey on top here. 113 for 1. Dan Lawrence relatively fresh at the crease. 3 not out. Right-hander. Let's hit this up in the air. Cries of catch. I don't think it's going to reach. It will! Great catch, Benny Howell. He was never favoured in my eyes to get there. He had to hair in from the batsman board and throw himself forward, and he caught it. And that is a really, really impressive catch from Benny Howell. 37 years of age, but he ran in like a teenager and took a really good catch there. And Dan Lawrence has gone for 3. Really good work. And Surrey 113 for 2.
Yeah, brilliant catch from Benny Howell. He really didn't have any right to get to that. Linda's keeping Nottinghamshire in this with those 2 wickets. And out comes Josh Philippi at number 4 to join Jason Roy, who's still there, 70 not out. But those 2 wickets just keep Nottinghamshire hanging in there.
George Linda's into his final over, though. That will be one source of disappointment, but that certainly wasn't. Really good work from Benny Howell, and enjoyed celebrating with his teammate. Nice photograph up on the big screens here of a Sydney Sixers shirt in there.
Yeah, he's only
pink.
had 2 games back in South London, so I don't think they've had time to get a headshot.
In fact, it's magenta. I'm pretty sure it's magenta, the Sydney Sixers
nice.
describe their colour as. 113 for 2. Australian, right-hander. Wicket-keeper as well, isn't he? But Ollie Pope did it earlier on. I think he's played 1 or 2 games for Australia. Linda bowls to him in his away first ball, driving it down the ground for a single.
Yeah, he's played very nicely since he's arrived at Surrey as Josh Phillips.
Surrey require exactly 50 from 33 balls, and most instances you'd certainly with 8 wickets in hand you'd certainly back the batting side.
Taking your hand off at the start of their run chase for this situation.
George Linda's got 3 balls left. It's Jason Roy, not need. He's 70 not out, dominating proceedings out there, and he gets one. Ooh, thought was going down the leg side. He's furious with himself there, Jason Roy, because he's gone to play a ball that seemed to be going down the leg side, then a little bit of grip and turn, and he's ended up almost offering a leading edge to cover.
He's trying to work around that front pad. He wants to be sweeping that fine.
114 for 2, and he's hit this one along the ground down to Benny Howell for a single. 115 for 2.
Just got to squeeze here. Have knots if they can.
You mentioned that Duckworth Lewis Parr score. I mean, it's not going to be a factor, it's just a guide, but with 2 wickets going down in relatively quick succession, that has shrunk. The end of this over, DLS Parr score would be 111. So he's still ahead, 115 for 2. It seems like they're winning this game by more than that margin, but still got to get over the line as Linda completes his spell with one that's cut out to Jack Haynes. Haynes, one of the best fielders in the side, gets it in quickly, but they get a couple of runs. 117 for 2, and George Linda's finish. 4 overs, 2 for 23 to the South African, who's had a very fine competition. If this is to be the end of his association with Notts, at least for this year, 17 wickets in the competition. Done pretty much everything that was asked of him. Missed the first match. He didn't do that was asked of him. Get here for the first game. He didn't quite, but played in the other 11 group matches and obviously has made his mark on this quarter-final. 5 to go. Surrey require 47.
Yeah, and at this stage, Nottinghamshire are 107 for 3. So 10 runs in it. So, Mohammed Amir comes back into the attack down below us with a football song being played, which is a little premature. It's with 5 overs to go. It's 1-on-1, I think that was. Yes. I don't think that one did that well in the charts. Did we release a World Cup song this year? I never heard one. It's going to be Mohammed Amir from the Radcliffe Road end. Comes left arm over the wicket to Jason Roy. Flashes at this outside edge. That's going to go over short third, and it's a boundary off the first ball of the over. So that helps. And Jason Roy moves on to 75, and it's down to 43 required now by Surrey.
Went after it, Jason, didn't he? And had it flown into one of those 2 fielders' hands up inside the ring short third and backward point. It'd be cursing him. It'd go and sit in a quiet corner, wouldn't it, for a moment or 2, but got it away to the fence.
Amir is into Roy. Short, slow ball into the pitch. Pulled by Roy. You hear the cry of yep, 2, but there's only a single there as the throw comes in 1 bounce over the top of the stumps. So Jason Roy moves on to 76, 42 required from 28 balls. Reminded me, that shot from Jason Roy, of Muncie's dismissal, because Muncie played that shot, but it went straight to Tom Curran. So that one went over the top of the short third.
Top scorer in the match now, Roy. Jack Haynes made 75 not out. Roy has gone one better.
He knows, though, he's got to take Surrey over the line. Philippi waits for Mohammed Amir. He's into him. Slower ball. Well bowled. Josh Philippi opened the face, tried to guide that. Beat the outside edge of the bat. 1 bounce into the gloves of Tom Moores. Moving away to his right-hand side. A little bit of pressure begins to build. always does at this stage. 42 required off 27 deliveries.
Yeah, need to build up a little run of dots.
Well, one of the most experienced bowlers in this form of the game down below us, Mohammed Amir. Comes in over the wicket to Josh Philippi, and Philippi digs out the Yorker into the leg side. Again, they'll look for 2. They're going to come back for the second. McCann with the third.
Oh!
That's it, run out. Oh, what a bit of fielding that is. And it's Jason Roy. And McCann, the 12th man, one-handed pick up and throw. Had one stump to aim at and knocked it clean out the ground as Jason Roy came back for the second. Huge moment in the game. Tight decision given. What a moment that could be. And Jason Roy's brilliant innings comes to an end on 76. And Surrey are 123 for 3.
Well, certainly if Notts do somehow manage to get out of the position they've found themselves in and go on and win this game, it won't need us to look too far at the moment where the game flipped completely on its head. Jason Roy 76 from 50 balls, 10 fours and 1 6. 10 fours and 1 6, 46 out of his 76 in boundaries. And it was Josh Philippi who's pushed it into the space on the leg side. I think it was one that they have been taking to quite comfortably, but it was Freddie McCann rushing in from the long on fence, clean pick up. I said earlier, the chances of you getting a direct hit from distance are infinitesimal on some days, but he's hit from an absolute mile out there. And to be fair to umpire O'Shaughnessy, he was square on, 6 feet away, looking at the line, and raised the finger.
Well, Ollie Pope is out there. He's at the non-strikers end, the captain, as Amir is into Philippi, and he's driving out towards the sweeper on the cover boundary rope, and they will pick up a single, but it was a brilliant pick up and throw. One stump to aim at. McCann would have only seen that one stump with that throw, and he knocked it clean out the ground. Direct hits are always going to be tight.
You're just trying to get it in towards the stumps and hope that the bowler or fielder's there to gather it and whip a bail off.
Absolutely, Amir was waiting for it, but it was a perfect throw. So, first ball for Ollie Pope. Mohammed Amir is in over the wicket to Pope, and Pope's pulling fine on the leg side. He's going to get off the mark with the boundary. So, the last ball of the over goes for 4. The run out of Jason Roy. 16 overs gone. Surrey 128 for 3. Surrey require 36 off 4 overs, Dave Bracegirdle.
I felt for Jack Haynes there because he gave it absolutely everything and flung himself at it, but couldn't prevent it. Benora Fernando's coming on the field.
Here he comes.
So Freddie McCann, whose last involvement was to perhaps provide the moment that's got Notts back believing he's going to come on the field and
bowl straight away.
Bowl straight away by the looks of it. It's an easy old game, isn't it?
It's a funny thing. I just wonder how important Liam Patterson-White's first delivery with the bat might be here. He walked out there and his first ball launched it for 6. And little moments like that at the back end of innings when we've been saying, well, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to walk out their first ball.
And I'm also thinking about the one short.
The one short as well, yeah, absolutely.
In the last over.
That could be key as well. There's little moments in this game.
So Benora Fernandez says, well, you've seen the last of it. No, you haven't. I'm back. He went off in the 3rd over, at the end of the 3rd over, with a finger injury. He's back to bowl the 17th from the far end, Sri Lankan. Nicknamed Rambo. 6'6", 6'7", bowled his first ball. It's cut away on the offside. And I just felt he just put his right hand to his left wrist straight away. Oh, he's just sorting out his attire.
Yeah, but he hasn't pulled his trousers up. No. That's the problem. Maybe he can't do the little lace up around the waist of his trousers because they've fallen down there.
It's a nice shot from Philippi. I just wonder if Joe Clark's almost at the point where he might have to bring somebody else in. It's always a big call if you have to bring somebody else into the ring, but they're not doing that for the moment. Freddie McCann's still out there. Just wonder if Notts have got obviously they've not got 12 out there. Somebody else has popped off for a comfort break. Here's Benora Fernando to bowl to Josh Philippi, the Australian, who's on 7, and this is into the offside.
He's struggling.
To Patterson White.
Yeah, he's struggling after that delivery. He's put that hand straight between his legs.
Yeah.
But I've said this before, and everybody stares at me and raises their eyebrows, but if your finger's hurting, sticking it between your legs and squeezing sometimes does the trick, and that's exactly what he did.
Can't see Jack Haynes at the moment, which is a big blow, as he's one of the
He might have nipped to the
quicker
level.
operators in the field.
Gary Wilson, the Surrey former keeper, now Ireland head coach, if he hurt his finger, he used to take his glove off and punch the ground with it to try and get it feeling again.
Here comes Fernando, his dark hair flopping about as he bowls. Oh, pace off! Oh, it's very nearly dropped on the stumps, and then Tom Moores comes up and kicks the ball, side foots the ball towards the
Perry
stumps.
Kane doesn't shoot like that tonight.
It's a single for Ollie Pope, I beg your pardon. He was on strike, not Philippe. Yeah, the ball just wouldn't behave itself, would it? It bounced down and then did a little bit of a zigzag round the stumps, and Tom Moores ran up and side-footed it wide of the target.
Horrible for Ollie Pope because he lost it.
Yeah.
And then he saw, oh no, it's going. That is a horrible strike from Tom Moores, isn't it?
132 for 3. He might be in some discomfort. He might not have all the feeling he needs in his left hand, but 3 testing deliveries so far from the big man. He's in again, bowls, and this one's got through to Tom Moores, and Tom Moores will have it and shy at the stumps, and he'll narrowly miss. They've run a bye here. Ollie Pope saw Tom Moores fumble it initially. It wasn't necessarily all he's doing. It took a nasty bounce in front of him. Went through for the bye. Tom Moores gathered it, shied at the stumps and missed.
Well, strap yourselves in, everybody. We're at that stage of a quarter final where chaos will start, and that was chaos.
31 from 20.
Yeah, it's changed that equation now.
Benora Fernando. It's only in his second over. I'd imagine he'd probably have bowled 3 at least by now if he hadn't have been injured. He's in again and bowls, and this is hit down the ground. So that's going to be another single. So that's 30 from 19. 134 for 3. And what it also does, Mark, is get the crowd
Yep, they're
involved.
back in it now. What, the chaos?
Well, well, it does, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say, you know, that they're expressing all their emotions right now, but well, you know, as you get into the latter stages,
and also the run out of Jason Roy and the manner of that run out with the direct hit, that gets the crowd right back into the game, doesn't it?
And they saw how the players reacted as well. I mean, it was a jubilant, joyous moment as they all went to Freddie McCann. There's Fernando bowling, hit away for 4. That's a lovely, lovely shot from Josh Philippe. Lifted it up and over extra cover and away for 4 with some real authority there as it thuds into the advertising board. And the over ends with that boundary. 138 for 3. And if we just saying that Notts perhaps giving themselves a squeak, you have a look at the comparisons, and Surrey are still 12 runs better off.
Yeah, and that was a big last delivery because he couldn't get out the over without conceding a boundary. So that gets it down to the equation of 26 required of 18 balls. 3 overs remaining. Mohammed Amir it will be from the Radcliffe Road. Great shot from Josh Philippe. Just sort of bent that back knee so he could go inside out up over the top, and it was aiming for the shortest boundary as well. So Tom Moores is just having a chat with umpire Pollard. So umpire Pollard's now got to jog back to his position at square leg. And Mohammed Amir, the bowl, the 18th over, 26 required by Surrey. Here is Amir coming in over the wicket to Ollie Pope. Pope cuts out towards the sweeper on the cover rope, just a single. 139 for 3, 25 required off 17 balls. I hate to say this, Dave Brayscott, but you could get a tie from this position. Yes, I've seen one this season in the women's competition, Surrey down at Hampshire, as Amir comes in over the wicket to Josh Philippe. It's that slow ball into the pitch again, short, just the single. They're not going to take 2 to McCann's arm now. So just a single to Josh Philippe. McCann's getting a standing ovation every time he picks the ball up. 1 more to the total, 24 required off 16 balls by Surrey.
Notts have just got to stop Surrey scoring boundaries.
Yep, that's the key thing here. Can you get through the over without conceding a boundary? Mohammed Amir is in to Ollie Pope. Pope whips it, leg side. Should just be a single, will just be a single. So that's okay.
And there's the crowd response.
Absolutely. 141 for 3, 23 required of 15 deliveries. Mohammed Amir, all that experience. None for 24. This is final over of his 4. 23 or 15 balls. Mohammed Amir is into Josh Philippi. Philippi, all right up in the block hole, and he's played that through his legs.
Yeah, massive Philippi, shot.
Yeah. And he gets a single out towards deep backward square. So 2 balls to go in the over. Can Mohammed Amir get through this over without conceding a boundary? Can Ollie Pope and Josh Philippi find a boundary? They won't mind how they find it, but they'll be desperate to find the rope. Amir is in. It's that short, slow ball again. Cut, chopped by Pope down to short third. Just the single. 1 more to the total. 21 required off 13.
If a wicket went, who are you going next? Experience of Curran, the youthfulness of Sykes?
Experience of Curran. They might bump Sykes in there. Actually, experience of Sean Abbott.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Sean Abbott. He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Last ball of the over. Amir's in. Philippi wide outside the off stump, just inside the tram lines. It's not a wide. Brilliant over from Mohammed Amir. 18 gone. So 12 balls left here on BBC Radio Nottingham. Surrey required 21 for victory, and Neil Diamond started.
And you know, the other thing with that, you know, it should have no relevance because you're going back 2 hours. The 18th over when Notts were batting was a big over. They got 15 runs from it. That over, Surrey only got 5, so there's only 2 runs in it now, comparatively speaking. You'd still rather be in Surrey's shoes here.
The gamble you take here, if you're Ollie Pope on strike, is to go after this over and try and get the last over down to something manageable.
Binora Fernando just bowled a 6-ball over here, as he said earlier. 2 no balls and 2 wides on Sunday. Comes in from the far end, and this is scooped up in the air, and a catch for Tom Moores, and Ollie Pope's gone. And Binora Fernando, the first thing he does isn't celebrate a wicket, it's just stand stock still and reach for his left wrist in obvious pain, but he's got Ollie Pope trying a switch hit, and all he's done is just scooped the ball off the glove up into the air, and a dolly of a catch for Tom Moores. And it's 143 for 4. And he's in so much discomfort, Mark. Yeah. You want to celebrate with your teammates. He's putting in a shift here, Fernando.
Well, it's not quite Chris Wokes, but he's really, really in pain. And he's tried the reverse scoop there, Ollie Pope, and has just lobbed it to Tom Moores. Tom Curran, it is, to come out at number 6. The other thing with that, dot ball.
Yeah. And the new man will be on strike as well.
Exactly. Very brave this from Fernando. If Nottinghamshire get over the line here, you would worry about him for Saturday though, because he looks in real pain.
Well, Dylan Pennington, of course, is unlucky. We've been saying that the matches that he's had to miss to sit on the sidelines. Dylan Pennington's ready to go, and I'm sure he would slot in. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't look like he can finish this over. I'm sure he will, but he doesn't look like he can finish this over, let alone play again in 2 days' time. Here is Fernando. In and bowls and cut away. And this is going to be 4 for Tom Curran. First ball of the match, or first ball he's received. First ball of his innings is what I'm trying to say. Cut it away through the offside for 4. And Fernando just put it there outside off stump on a length, and it was nicely played by Curran.
Yeah, fancy this Tom Curran. He's made some important runs for Surrey in the T20 this season.
17 required from 10 balls. Surrey will take their place at Edgbaston on this Saturday. There's Fernando trying to keep Notts in it for a little longer. Left armour bowl, same place, but Notts have plugged that gap, so there'll only be a single. 16 required from 9. Notts have won recently 2 games by the width of a cigarette paper. 1 game by 1 run here against Lancashire, and then the following game up at Durham by just 2 runs. Just really delivering tidy, accurate last overs.
Tie.
Hampshire
on the cards.
Hampshire are through. We've got a result at the Utility Bowl. Hampshire have defeated Essex by 75 runs. There's Fernando to bowl to Felipe, who's on 15. And he's hit this one up in the air. Now then, catching chance perhaps. No, it was difficult. George Munsey, and he's fallen on the ball and very nearly kicked it towards the rope. Back comes Freddie McCann round him to prevent it hitting the rope and fires it in. And they run through. Did they get 3 there in the end, 3. I think. It was a very, very difficult one for George Munsey to take. It was swirling and he was running away from the stumps towards the boundary and lost it in flight as it swirled over his head.
Well, he did really well to get hands on it. The problem was then he almost kicked it over the rope, but McCann did very well then to get round. I told you, strap yourselves in for chaos.
13 from 8. Fernando has 2 balls left in this. His 3rd over, figures of 1 for 26. So very nearly provided a simple catch for Munsey, but swirled away from him. Fernando in again. Now this one's high. Now who's going to call for that? It should be taken on the offside, and is. And it's beautifully taken.
Linda.
George Linda. Thank you, Mark. Ball swirling away on the offside. And Tom Curran goes. So Fernando getting another wicket in the over. Benny Howell came rushing over to him, and he was sort of just holding out his right hand, and he clearly doesn't want anybody going anywhere near that left one. Tom Curran goes, made his mark with a boundary first ball, out for 5 from 3 balls. Caught Linda, bowled Fernando 5, 151 for 5.
Key thing again, dot delivery. Linda never looked like dropping that. Solid as a rock under that was George Linda. So here is Chris Jordan making his way out to join Josh Philippi. We're going to the last over. 13 more required by Surrey. There are 7 deliveries left.
13 from
amazing.
7 it is. It's been an extraordinary game. Somerset need 23 runs from 7 balls with 2 wickets left. So Yorkshire closing in on victory there.
Still got time ahead here. Could happen.
13 from 7. So Fernando. There's 1 ball left in this over. Something of a hero even to be out there. Comes in and bowls, and Chris Jordan will hit this into the offside, and they'll only get a single. So Jordan will be on strike. There is 1 over to go. It's 152 for 5. Surrey have finals day, or a place at finals day, within their grasp if they can score 12 runs from the final 6 balls. And I think it's going to be Ollie Stone to bowl the final over. So there'll be pace on.
I wonder whether B. Howe might. Has he bowled his 4, B. Howe? I wonder whether B. Howe might bowl the last, actually, but it's going to be Ollie Stone. So you've gone to your gun quick for the last over. But Fernando, but whatever happens from here for Fernando, he's going to be a hero in the Shire of Nottingham. There'll be a statue of him up in the new pavilion at this rate by the end of the game.
Well, Benny Howell's only bowled 2 overs.
Yeah, I wondered whether it would be B. Howe, but it's going to be O. Stone, and it will be Chris Jordan on strike. 12 needed by Surrey for a place at finals day. They are going to have deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, sweeper on the cover rope. There's short fine, short third, backward point and extra cover, and it's Ollie Stone from the Radcliffe Road end.
And you wanted the crowd involved, you've got them.
They are now. 12 needed by Surrey. Chris Jordan on strike. Stone's into him. It's down the leg side. Wide. So, Ollie Stone starts with a wide. 11 required, and still 6 balls remaining. Chris Jordan goes for a breather. Walks out towards square leg. Ollie Stone with a look of concentration on his face. Turns again down below us. 11 needed off 6 balls. Stone into Jordan. Jordan swing and a miss. One bounce into the gloves of Tom Moores. So 11 required off 5 deliveries by Surrey. Good slower ball that from Ollie Stone. I wonder if Philippi, look, Chris Jordan's got previous of launching a 6 off the last ball of the game to win it, but Philippi may have just gone down and said, "Can you just get bat on it?"
It's straight, doesn't it, Chris Jordan?
Yeah,
from memory?
very straight.
Yeah,
doesn't mind over mid-wicket either. So here is Stone again. 5 balls left. 11 needed by Surrey. Stone in. Jordan leading edge. It's just looping high in the air. Gone. Caught by Ollie Stone off his own bowling. Chris Jordan goes. Caught and bowled by Ollie Stone. And the other thing, it's a dot delivery. And that means Surrey still require 11. And there are 4 balls remaining. And it's going to be Ollie Sykes making his way out to the middle for his first T20 game of the season. What a time to come out if you're Ollie Sykes. Chris Jordan gone for 1. Good bowling from Ollie Stone.
Time to be a hero, and it's going to be Ollie versus Ollie here. Ollie Stone, who has been doing that this season. His early overs in the power play tended to go round the park a little bit, and Aaron Donald put him away for over 30 in 1 over down at Derby. But when he's come back at the end, he has delivered on occasions, got them over the line against Lancashire, and this is a great over, even though it began with a leg side wide, then the dot ball and then the wicket. So 11 required from 4, 10 from 4 for the tie. If it's the same regulations in force as we had in 2020, then Surrey will win. I would love it if we have got anybody from the club listing who's got the umpires on the old walkie-talkie and can confirm. Here's Stone, here's Mark Church.
And here's Ollie Sykes on strike for his first delivery. Stone over the wicket to Sykes. Sykes drives down the ground. Should just be a single. Philippi wants to. Sykes won't come back because the throw's in 1 bounce over the top of the stumps. 10 required off 3 balls. Boundary off this ball would be very handy for Surrey, but so far, bar the wide, it's been a terrific over from Ollie Stone. So the field for Josh Philippi will be sweeper on the cover rope, extra cover, backward point, short third, short fine, 2 back on the leg side boundary rope, a long off and a long on. 10 required off 3. Stone into Josh Philippi. Philippi swings hard at this. It'll just be a single down to McCann. They won't take his arm on. Oh, now it's interesting. Surrey need a boundary off this ball. 9 off 2. They desperately need a boundary.
Freddie McCann doing the fielding there, and Freddie McCann, he must have been absolutely distraught when they said to him, he's played most of the games, Mark, he must have been distraught when they said, we're going to make a change, we're going to bring Joe Pocklington in because we think it'll turn, Freddie, you're going to have to sit this one out. He's found himself out on the field, and that's just a sign, isn't it? Keep your pecker up, and he's turned into an unlikely hero on the day.
Has to go for 4 or 6 this. Stone's in. Swing and a miss, outside edge in fact, and Tom Moores takes the catch. Sykes goes for 1, and unless something disastrous happens off the last ball from Ollie Stone, it's going to be the Outlaws that will go to finals day, because Surrey require 9 off the last ball, and what a final over this has been from Ollie Stone.
With you, with the naked eye, Mark, I thought, oh crikey, he's bowled a big wide, but Sykes chased after it and got the very cue end of the ball on the bat on the ball, and just grazed it through to Tom Moores. And Notts have pulled off a really unlikely heist here. 155 for 7. Sean Abbott on his way out to the middle. That must be a wretched walk, you know. It really must be a wretched walk if you've been sat there expecting your side to dominate. We saw that century partnership for the opening wicket. Surrey very much in the box seat from that stage onwards, and Sean Abbott has gone out there now knowing he just can't do it. 9 required from 1. Here comes Ollie Stone to bowl it out. Abbott plays it on the leg side. They'll take a single, and Ollie Stone stands with his arms raised aloft and turns, takes his cap from the umpire and is engulfed by his teammates, because again in this competition Notts have managed to defend a total. A narrow victory. Again, they've got over the line. 12 required from the final over, and they've ended up winning by 7 with some really unlikely heroes. Ollie Stone finishes with 2 for 23, a couple of wickets in that over. A word for Binora Fernando, who wasn't on the field for 15 overs. He came on to get 2 wickets, and Freddie McCann, not even playing in the match, has pulled off the dramatic run out of Jason Roy. And I tell you what, Jack Haynes, who also deserves a mention, 75 not out, he wasn't even on the field at the end. He's just coming on now to join in the celebrations. What a dramatic quarter-final, as these matches usually are, invariably are. Surrey, as always, great opponents when they come here, and they restricted Notts to 163 for 6, and Roy and Evans 101, and from there, Mark, that's got to be the disappointing facet of the game. As you've been saying, it's been difficult for anybody to start, but with that platform of 101 for the first wicket, this will feel like it's one that's got away. Well,
it will do, and it will really hurt Surrey, but all credit to Nottinghamshire, because they hung in there and hung in there and hung in there, and that run out from Freddie McCann, absolutely key of Jason Roy, because at that point Surrey had the game in their hands, but then Nottinghamshire just shut the door on them, and Ollie Stone take a bow, because what a brilliant last over that was. What did Surrey need? 12 off the last over?
And then the first ball was a wide, absolutely. So still 11 from 6.
And Ollie Stone held his nerve there. And Fernando, as I say, they will be erecting the statue of him now in the car park, because that was very brave from him. It really was, because it looked like his game was over with a finger injury, but got back out there and then came back and, you know, took crucial wickets as well. So well played to the Outlaws. A terrific game, absolutely brilliant game of cricket. Mention for the groundsman as well, because okay, it wasn't your classic T20 pitch, but they've had to show off all their skills today, both sides. So yeah, well done to the Outlaws, but that will really hurt Surrey.
As always, Mark, very much enjoyed sharing the commentary box, enjoyed your company as always. You and I will do it again.
We'll do it on Friday
for the Blaze versus Surrey on Friday morning.
But
for listeners to BBC Radio Nottingham, there's big things coming up, as we know, at 8 o'clock. Hope you can stick with us for just long enough for me to thank you for being with us on quarter-final day. A reminder that it is finals day this Friday. Notts Outlaws through to finals day. We'll sort out who they're playing and who else will be at finals day on BBC Radio Nottingham between now and then. Notts finished as the winners here with a score of 163 for 6. They've just been able to defend it, restricting Surrey to 156 for 7. Notts are the winners, and they go through to their 7th finals day, which will be held at Edgbaston on Saturday. From Mark Church, myself, Dave Bracegirdle, the entire team here that's brought all our viewers the pictures, and most importantly, back at base at BBC Radio Nottingham, looking after things. Thank you very much. Adam Hassel. Thanks, mate. Well done.
Wow, what a quarter-final that is. The Outlaws make it through to final day this Saturday. I've got top scorer for the Outlaws, Jack Haynes, with me. 75 from you there, Hainesy. How crucial was your knock, and how were your nerves at the end?
Yeah, they were tingling at the end. I was off the field, unfortunately, so I didn't feel like I could sort of impact it. But the boys have been, fantastic there. Stoney was, again, so cool under pressure. And we seem to keep winning games in positions we shouldn't do. So, the halfway mark of that bowling there, I think it was probably Surrey's game. And yeah, the boys showed a lot of heart and a lot of balls, excuse my French, to get us back in the game and to win the game. So yeah, it's a special win.
You obviously came in at quite a difficult point, obviously losing those 2 early wickets. What was your mindset coming into it at that point?
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. It's the way I try and play my cricket, strong shots early on. Like we knew the pitch probably helped a little bit. Pace off bowling wasn't the easiest early on, but you know, a lot of lads came in and took the pressure off me. You know, Pockers I thought played really well under a bit of pressure. Got going later on in his innings. Benny Howell, Barrel came in. Tommy striking beautifully. So lads took a lot of pressure off me and just let me sort of bat through and away, and plinked a couple at the end, but yeah, managed to get to a total that is defendable.
It's been a strange kind of campaign, really, losing the first 3 games, but then going on that amazing run of just winning game after game. Coming into this quarter-final, what was the mood in the camp? How did you feel, coming up against a good side in Surrey?
Yeah, good. We're good friends as a group. We're a tight-knit group. Obviously, 8 wins on the bounce helps the team morale. We had a bit of a sort of sharpen up at Yorkshire the night where we didn't play our best stuff, but we've come in and delivered tonight, which matters, and we've got to look forward to Saturday, which can be an exciting day.
I'm just going to bring Ollie Stone in here very quickly. Just one word before I let you go. What about this man at the end, bowling the last over under that pressure?
Yeah, he's been phenomenal, really. To get us back in that position from the other bowlers, and then for Stone to finish off again like he did against Derby the other week. So cool under pressure, and I'm sure we'll do it again on Saturday.
And then before I let him go, what about his knock? First of all, allowing you bowlers to potentially have a target to try and bowl to.
That was all right, wasn't it? I think it obviously shown there, only 2 scores above 50. The way he played, let others come in and try and take the impetus to them around him, but then it didn't stop him. It go unnoticed if... No, he was rock solid tonight, and it's just great to see. He's done it all comp. He's probably not gone on as many times as he'd like, but tonight was outstanding, and I know he'll look forward to the big occasion on Saturday.
I'm sure he will. I'm going to let you go, Hainsey. Go and enjoy it. Okay. Just talk to me about that last over, because you've had some campaign, really, haven't you? You've had some highs. You've also had some difficult moments, kind of that night at Derby, that first over, etc. That springs to mind. How are you feeling, and how did you feel? Did you know you were going to take that last over?
Clarkey didn't say anything to me, but obviously I know what I can do in those situations, and I felt like it was my over. I love those challenges. I feel it's took a couple of years of my life, maybe the last 2 overs, those tight ones. But no, I love it. They're the sort you hope not to get that close, but they're the sort of situations you play for. Big moments, whether it's bat or ball in the field. I felt like we won those tonight. Freddie's run out, especially, is exceptional, especially when he's come on as a substitute. It can be easy to drift. So the way he went about it, and you probably see with a smile, I don't think it's quite sunk in yet, but I just love those situations. It's pressure, but it's what you play for. You'll be a long time retired, so hopefully not too many more of those. But yeah, it's great to come out on the right side of them, and yeah, I know there'll be a few going across to Birmingham cheering us on Saturday. So it's something we all sat down at the start of the campaign and aimed for, and yeah, we've given the fans what they want.
Just on that Freddie McCann run out, how much of a momentum changer was that? Because it got the crowd involved, and it really was a crucial person to get out in Jason Roy, who had been knocking it around and looked pretty set.
Yeah, it was massive. He played an unbelievable innings, to be honest. The way he ticked along, the way he played his reverse sweeps against our spin, which have been so vital for us. At one point, I guess, probably people thought the game was over, but it was a massive momentum swing, and I don't think I've heard the crowd as quiet at times this blast as it was tonight. They were really behind us, didn't cheer any of their runs. It was actually quite nice to see and feel. So no, it was massive, and the crowd's been brilliant here all year. There probably maybe wasn't as many as the last game, but Christ, we didn't know. They were right behind us, and they were exceptional, and I know that, like I said already, they'll be right behind us on Saturday.
I can't imagine why there's not many fans do. I don't know what's happening actually this evening. But yeah, just finally head into finals day. Now, this club has won this trophy a few times, but it has been a few years since we've made finals day. How much will the boys be looking forward to going to Birmingham on Saturday, facing Hampshire in that semi-final, and potentially, hopefully, bringing a trophy back for these fans?
Yeah, boys are well up for it already. I know that for a fact. We tried not to speak too much about it before the start of the game, but there's a good group of us in there. There's people that have experienced it and also some people that haven't. So I think we've got a great mix in terms of that, and there'll be people that will go out there and play with freedom, but also people know like what to expect from those days. They can be long days, especially if you're the first game and get to the final. So it will be a collective effort to get everyone through to hopefully lift that trophy. And yeah, I know everyone's super excited, and hopefully England can do us proud tonight, and it'll top off a great day.
Well, talking about England, I'm going to let you go and I'm going to wrap up this interview, Ollie, because I've got somewhere to be. Congratulations. I wish you the best of luck and all the lads on Saturday. Hopefully you can bring it home. All right. OK, Ollie Stone there, and obviously Jack Haynes as well. So, like I said, what an absolute quarter-final that was. It put you through the ringer, didn't it, really? But if you've joined us this afternoon, this evening on Trent Bridge Live and all the way through the campaign here for the T20 Blast, thank you very much. But you've got one more job to do. You have got to follow the Outlaws on Saturday, because they have made it to finals day. So make sure you join them, you support them. But from everybody here at Trent Bridge, thank you very much, and finally, come on England.